I really hope everybody had a spectacular weekend. I mean, hey, by the way, I was talking to my wife about this. Hope everyone had a great Father's Day weekend. And if you've been married longer than 10 years, okay, being left alone's the best. Hey, and all those posts. Hey, man, I've been with my wife for 32 years. It's the greatest thing in the history. Me and my wife went, you're liars. Okay? I mean, nobody talks like that. No, nobody goes like this. The apple of my sunshine of my life. You're like, I don't believe you. Anybody who's been married for any extended period of time knows. Hey, how you doing? I asked my wife the other day. I go, no, I told her, I go, hey, honey, I love you. She goes, I don't believe you. I was like, okay. I was like, I don't believe you. I was like, all right. Yeah. I see all these posts and I'm like, come on, man, you're lying. My wife for 47 years. I can't tell you how I met you back in the day and everything's been kumbaya. And you're liars. Every single person. And I asked my wife years ago, I go, do you love me? She goes, really? It's been like 30 years. So, she made me some Wimpies and some hot dogs, and I'm good. Anyway, hope all did have a great weekend. Hey, listen, I got to throw this out there about the NBA before we get going. Ton of topics. Gary Cobb at 4:30. My boy Big Z, that'll be at 3:30. So the NBA, you want to know where they are in the landscape of sports? Okay. So I was looking around for the Sunday game. And I'm like, okay, so I guess the series is tied. Is that right? The series is tied, right? And I'm like, okay, so surely game 5 is on Sunday night. Nope. They made sure they didn't play because of the U.S. Open. They were afraid golf was going to kick their ass. Golf. The golf was going to beat them up in ratings. Can you imagine the NFL canceling the Eagles and the Buccaneer game? Hey, you know what? There's there's like a big F1 race. The NFL would go, remember what the NFL did on Christmas Day? Okay? The NBA thought they owned Christmas, right? NFL went, yeah, I don't think so. NFL went, nah, I don't think so. Not happening, right? They said, now the NBA doesn't even play games on Christmas Day, or at least I don't know because I don't watch it. Can you imagine that? Oh, and this just in as well. So Caitlyn Clark goes for 32, 9, and 8 over the weekend, right? SGA, who is that? Do you actually think you could pick SGA, the star MVP, from the Thunder out in a crowd in a mall in Philly? I don't. 3 out of 10 people would pick her out. If you put Caitlyn Clark in a mall in Philly, 10 out of 10 people, who would have thought that the biggest star in basketball is a chick? The ratings prove it. The lowest rated NBA finals since 1988. That's like not counting the COVID. Think about that. Prior to the 88, Magic and Larry were bringing the NBA out of the dark ages. Because if you remember right, some of you don't. 1979, it was the Sonics and the Washington Bullets. They were on tape delay. You understand? They broadcasted it and put it on at night, the finals. So Larry and Magic Johnson were taking it out of those times. You had race, a white dude, a black dude, Lakers, Celtics, everything you want to sell. David Stern sold it. And he sold it in droves. In my opinion, the golden age of the NBA. It was appointment-setting TV. SGA, dude, I have no interest in you. But I'll tell you what I did when I got a notification on my phone that Caitlyn Clark was playing. I was interested. Like, I'll tune this thing in. By the way, Stephen A. Smith, so you get to watch that guy at the beginning of the pregame show, starting and trying to pick a fight with Tyrese Halliburton. Could you imagine Howie Long taking a shit on Patrick Mahomes prior to a Super Bowl? What's the point? You're trying to make it about you? Dude, you're not that interesting. You're just not that interesting. So this guy's taking a shit on one of the stars on the Pacers. And you're like, what in the world is that guy doing? That's not compelling. That's why Shaq, Barkley, Kenny Anderson, that show was always awesome. I mean, those guys were funny about it, at least. That ESPN's terrible. It's all woke BS and all that. I mean, they just give me sports. Oh, by the way, hey, congratulations to our military over the weekend. I thought that's our men and women. Trump did look like Idi Amin sitting there up on his podium, though. I was like, who's that guy? Hey, I'm not going to make any political statement here, but holy cow. This guy looked like FW to Clark up there. I'm like, hey, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to take a shit on our men and women. It was pretty cool and all, but hey, man. Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, we get away from that stuff here, man. So, yeah, tonight, I guess, is the NBA Finals. NHL Finals are proving one thing, okay? Proving one thing, that the Panthers are the best team in the NHL, and boy, they look it. They just absolutely do. Hey, guys, do me a favor. Like Kyle here, all Super Chats go to the top. We appreciate all of you. Please hit the like button. Sills, I got a signed hockey stick from 2003-04 Flyer team. That was my dad's. That's pretty dope, man. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that I got too, NHL-wise. I got Dave Vanderchuk. I got a bunch of pictures that I've taken with Esposito. Let me think. I got a Ken Denico signed puck. I got a Bobby Orr signed puck. I got a bunch of stuff from the NHL. I got a picture of me with the Stanley Cup in my studio. I mean, never ceases to amaze when it comes to delivering. The NHL always delivers. All right. I heard a very interesting comment and conversation going on the morning show, Birds 365. Make sure you guys check it out. It's awesome. Okay? How many people believe that Jalen Hurts is on a Hall of Fame trajectory? What is it? First 5 years in his career. 4 starting. How many people believe that? How many people believe that Jalen Hurts is on a Hall of Fame trajectory right now in his career? Lamar says, certainly he is. $100%. Let's see here. He's been winning like this. Yes. Wait, if he keeps winning like this, then yes. One more ring in an MVP type season, he's in. Okay. Let's see here. What you guys? Crowley, I don't think so, but what do I know? Huh. Interesting. He's not trending the opposite way. So, yeah. All right. So, I'm going to ask you guys a question. First, I'm going to put Jalen Hurts' win numbers. Let me see here. By the way, he's totally winning. He's 46-20. And what has he got? 85 TD passes, 39 INTs. I wrote down another guy here. And by the way, 2 NFC titles, a Super Bowl, and a Super Bowl MVP. Okay? So just to double check. I saw that with Nicole Lynn. Thought it was awesome. I did. Jalen's better than any Miami U quarterback. Well, hope he makes it to the Hall of Fame. We got one in already. We're good. So we're good. The guy been to 4 of them. But we're good. Again, there's not a position in pro football Miami doesn't have a Hall of Famer at. Just remember that. Running back, receiver, O-line, quarterback, D-tackle, end, linebacker, corner, safety. Every position's covered. So we're tight end. So we're good. You know, one of the very few schools that can say that. Come from a pretty good powerhouse of developing and putting Hall of Fame players in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, we're good. Okay? Second team all poor. All right. So let me ask you this. Jalen's 46-20, 85-39, 2 NFC titles, 1 Super Bowl ring, 1 Super Bowl MVP. Tremendous. Okay? So let me put this here. Here's a guy, 46-18. He's got 106 touchdown passes and 34 picks. He's won 2 NFC championships himself and 1 Super Bowl. Who is that guy? Better win percentage than Hurts. Team-wise accomplishment. He's won 2 NFC titles himself and 1 Super Bowl. Who had a better start to his career than Jalen Hurts even? Hurts a Hall of Famer if he wins another Super Bowl. Let me get there. Thank you, Khalid. Stafford in his first 4 years in Detroit? I don't remember that. Who is that? 46-18-0, 106 TD passes. Oh, wait. You know what? I was actually pretty shocked at the passing numbers. 13,974 versus Jalen at 13,006. Who is it? Brady? Mahomes? No. How many people believe Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer right now? How many people believe Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer? Well, wait a minute. He's gotten out to the same start as Jalen. We had Jason Cole on last week, and he said, I go, do you think Russell Wilson has played himself into a conversation now instead of being a slam dunk? He said yes. For real. 46-18. Hurts is 46-20. Yeah. More yards, more touchdowns, less picks. Wait, how on one hand can you say Jalen Hurts is a Hall of Famer. And then on the other hand, you say Russell Wilson's not. Here, let me ask you another one. How many people believe that Eli Manning, if he hadn't won 2, would not be a Hall of Fame? I don't believe he would. Thank you, Lamar. So wait a minute. Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Fame player? Why would you say that Jalen Hurts is? What's this one? I don't know what that means. No. He will. Only because the 2 rings. Russell's not even close. Had a better start to his career than Hurts. More TD passes. Same accomplishments. What are we talking about here? By the way, for the record, Russell Wilson's a 10-time Pro Bowler. Comeback player of the year. First team AP 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer. Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer. Jalen Hurts is certainly not. Oh, wait a minute. I asked you if you guys thought he was trending there. Now, look, I do too. And I'm going to tell you to be transparent. Okay? So wait a minute. How do you know? My conversation here is Jalen Hurts is off to a great start. There's no surefire remedy here on him making the Hall of Fame yet. Not even close. You have to have this start. I agree. To be in the conversation. But you guys are, I was listening to Jeff Kerr make Jalen Hurts sound like other guys hadn't started like this. That's not true. I picked a guy who's not even considered a Hall of Famer right now. Would you say Eli had a Hall of Fame moment, not a Hall of Fame career? I say Eli Manning had a Hall of Fame postseason. Like Edelman. Like that kind of guy. Okay? This is where I have our debate all the time. Dude, this is about longevity and putting a resume together. And making sure the resume looks great when you're getting in front of these people. Jalen Hurts, he's not even close yet. Has a feel? Absolutely. No. Richard, I'm not saying he's not out to a superstar start. He is. That's not what I'm saying. But how in the world can you sit here and tell me he's a slam dunk to eventually make the Hall of Fame when there was a guy who started his career better than him? I'm not ripping anything. Dude, careers can change. How many people you think have flip-flopped on Russell Wilson? I know I have. I have. I totally have. I thought that guy was a slim. Hey, by the way, if he wins that other Super Bowl instead of throws that pick that Malcolm Butler had, I don't think we're having a conversation here. But would we not agree? Since that moment in the Super Bowl, with that pick on the goal line, Wilson's career has never been the same. Is that fair? Since that pick in that Super Bowl against New England, that guy's career has not been the same. Right? There is a lot of football for Jalen to play. By the way, I am not sitting here telling you that he's totally, you know how I look at Jalen? His passing game and his overall game, it's the same. What's getting better is his football IQ. That's what wins Super Bowls. That's where he separates himself. He will never separate himself with guys like Josh Allen, Lamar, Burrow, in any way. However, Jalen is a long-distance runner. Brady was a long-distance runner. Those guys were like marathon dudes. These other guys are like sprinters. You know, the big event is the 100 meters. The least watched event is really like the marathon. But marathon is how you get into the Hall of Fame. This is a marathon. You're going to have flows. Xander said it, and I pointed it out. Brady won a lot of Super Bowls early. What happened? There was a decade of football, he didn't win one. You're going to have pockets in your career where whether or not you're going to overcome it or whether or not you're not. That's called also being an analyst. So wait a minute. How many people think that analysts, voters, I know Jason Cole has, he's flip-flopped on Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had a better start to his career than Jalen Hurts. A better start. Jalen has the MVP. And Russell has the numbers and the wins and the same accomplishments team-wise. 2 NFC titles, and they were back-to-back. By the way, remember, Wilson went to back-to-back Super Bowls. I mean, look at his career. Russ started out 11-5, 13-3, 12-4, 11-6, and then 10-5-1. Pro Bowl. AP 3 times. He was the Associated Press. You want to hear something crazy, though, about Russell Wilson? Do you know in his entire career, Russell Wilson has never garnered one most valuable player vote? In his entire career, nobody's ever voted him and given him an MVP vote. At defense, hey, Marshall. Well, by the way, RC3, do their careers look the same? I mean, Barkley, beast mode. Legion of Boom, #1 defense. You know the difference? He had Pete Carroll, John Schneider. Those were guys making the decisions on personnel. Wasn't just one dude. See, that's what we do here. We put things in perspective. Just curious. The prime Seahawks or the 24 Eagles, who would you rather want? Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman. They had better pass rushers with Michael Bennett. Linebackers, I mean, Bobby Wagner is a Hall of Famer. Man, that's a tough one. Is Barkley better than beast mode? I don't know about that. Beast mode was great every year. I mean, he was just a great football player. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Earl Thomas was on that team too. Man, my guy Big Sales, hope you had a great Father's Day. Do you think the Eagles have enough in the bank to get back to the Super Bowl, even with the changes on defense? How you doing? It's funny, that's a topic that's next. Which Jalen or Wilson had a tougher quarterback market? Oh, Eagles. Seattle, NFC West? I don't think so. Now, I don't think the teams in the NFC East are that hot. Dallas is not that good. Washington is great. The Giants, I don't know. I disagree with everyone too. Okay? Hey, man, thank you very much. Thank you. All good. All good. Yeah, we're good now, man. So again, one thing I want to make it clear. I am not telling you today that Hurts hasn't. Do I think both Jalen Hurts and Russell Wilson had Hall of Fame starts to their careers? Totally. Yes. 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 But that's not a sure thing. Okay? That is not a sure thing. Would another Super Bowl put him in? How many people in here believe Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback? Says I was a young kid at the same time, but Hurts reminds me of Steve McNair. Man, McNair was so gifted and great. Just a great football player. So Eli Manning's got 2 rings, 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl. He's won 17 and won 17 as a starting quarterback. His last 10 years was dog shit, if you want to be candid in the NFL. Look at his win-loss record the last decade. It was terrible. I mean, once the team around him went south, what happened? It shows you ebb and flows of a career. Right? I mean, so when I was listening to those guys today, I'm not in disagreement that those dudes are not off to a Hall of Fame start. But don't tell me and make it sound like Jalen Hurts is off to a start that we haven't seen before in NFL history. We have. And he's now in New York. Wilson had as good a start. But today, on June 16, 2025, it's going to be a debate on whether or not he gets in. Because look at the last couple of years. He's not surrounded by good. Dude, how many people truly believe that the Eagles are going to keep it up by putting great talent around him? Would you not agree that how many years have some of you been watching the Eagles? Give me some years. On how many years you've been watching the Eagles? How many years? See this right here? I don't. Salary cap will dictate that. 98, says LJ. That's pretty cool. Okay? Would you not agree that, LJ, here's Lamar, since 04. Would you guys not agree? This has been the best 5 years of talent the Eagles have ever had. And look, Mikey has been watching since 2002. So we're talking about over 25 years. Since 81. Okay. We're talking over 40 years. So LJ, right? This last 4 or 5 years has been the best talent the Eagles have ever put together. You know the key is going to be? Look at New England. New England had it going for 20 years. 19 years of putting good players around Tom Brady. Look at it now. They have to go in free agency and spend $500 million in free agency for an organization that had Chris Hogan's, Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman making trades for Wes Welker. You don't keep it going forever. You go in peaks and valleys. A couple of Jalen Reagor trades or draft picks, you're toast. I'm not saying, and again, I heard Xander talking, you got to hope for a lot of sophomore success this year, right? Ton of sophomore success. It was who he beat, Brady and Bill, that gets Eli. I'm not saying Eli's not going in. He's going in. But let me ask you this. Latin Ferno, if his last name was Eli Smith, do you think Eli Manning gets to the Hall of Fame? If he was Eli Smith, right? With 2 Super Bowl wins. If that dude's name is Eli Smith or Eli Whitney, that dude's not making it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ain't no way. No way. Eli's better. I think Phillip Rivers is better. Hit the like button, guys. Hey, by the way, I'm not talking shit on Jalen at all. It's just that when I hear people not putting things in proper perspective, just because you've had 5 years of a career, 5 years ain't getting your shit, dude. It's start and finish, and shit in the middle is how you become one of the 371 men that go to Canton. 27,000 men have played in the NFL. 371 of them are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay? It's less than, you got a better chance of being an astronaut than you do a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I mean, I'm trying to think of people who had great starts to their careers. Guys who won early. Shit, Jim Kelly had some great winning early. Again, he's got to win it. I completely disagree with that conversation. So let me ask you guys this. Would you rather have 4 Super Bowl appearances or 1 ring? What would you rather have? 4 Super Bowl losses or a Super Bowl ring? Like, who would you rather be? Ben Roethlisberger with 2 rings? Or Jim Kelly with 4 losses? Who would you rather be? Would you rather be Ben or Kelly? Kelly's the better player. Jim Kelly's the better player, no doubt. But I think when you're talking about quarterbacks in today's NFL, like, get this. Jalen Hurts will never go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame because of his numbers. They're pedestrian. But he will go in for the winning. And he will go in for the amount of appearances in a Super Bowl. He ain't going in for his numbers. I'd be shocked if Hurts throws for over 30,000 yards in his career. I should say 35,000. I mean, I don't know at the end of the day, he has more passing yards than Donovan. I think Donovan's around 37,000. I'd be very shocked if Jalen has more passing yards than that. I would. But he may have 3 Super Bowl appearances. What are you talking about at the end of the day? Right? This is just a conversation of context. Okay? Wouldn't be surprised if Hurst wins 5 NFC titles. Okay? Well, then he'd be in Brady's conversation. Jalen has 18,000. Jalen has 14,000. Doesn't have 18,000. He's got 14,000 passing yards in his career. Doesn't have 18,000. Fuck, you come up with that? It's 14-6. Wouldn't hurt his rushing numbers. They would, riding the bench, all of those numbers would play into a factor because of his Super Bowl appearances. Yes, I would. Putting his resume together, I would put that in there. I would, yeah. Again, great. Russell Wilson. Let's see here. Russell Wilson, in his first 5 years, let's take a look at it. Let's see what he did. Wilson rushing, 490, 539, 849, 553. And again, and he threw for 100 more. He threw for 40 more touchdown passes than Jalen. In 14, when they went to the Super Bowl and won it, he ran for 900 yards. He didn't have a better start to his career, Jalen, than Russell Wilson. It's not true. Yeah. And you have 18,000 yards? Well, shit, if I add up here Russell Wilson's numbers, there's 900. There's 1,400 right there. There's another 1,000 with the other 2 years. You're talking at 18,000 himself. Once again, the conversation was more about he ain't out to a better start. Put things in context. All right. I'm going to ask you something here. Hey, Jalen is out to a great start. Make no mistake. Great start. Great start. Got to be consistent, though, if you want to get to Canton. You can't go like this and get in. It won't happen. Because then they'll look at you as being more around how people built the team. When Brady went to Tampa, that capped it off. Brady went to Tampa, went to another system in a COVID year, and wins a Super Bowl. He's totally trending up. No, I'm not saying he's not. And I'm not saying the conversation's not. Okay? Well, he's never been consistent in any season, except 22. He's been consistently inconsistent as a player when it comes to his numbers, but the team is winning. Yes. Wilson was consistent with the numbers and the winning. Had a better start to his career. He's more consistent. Now, I will say this. I think they lean more on beast mode. I think they did. Because when that guy was taken off that team, okay? When that guy was taken off that team, beast mode, I don't think Russell Wilson was ever the same. Here, let me show you this. When people are putting Hall of Fame together, they rarely use the rushing yards. But that may change. Guys, that may change. Because of the modern quarterback today. Josh Allen, Lamar, Jalen, Herbert, even to an extent. That's going to change. I think that's going to change in how you look at these guys. I really do. Jaden Daniels. I think that, how you're going to look at them. I do. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch was a great. I think Marshawn Lynch is a Hall of Fame player. All right. All that being said, we just mentioned Marshawn. I have a question for you. Okay. That's what WT meant, thinking and jealousy of an athlete. What's WT, man? Is that some sort of code thing for like hanging out at a Jets or Mets game instead of celebrating the U.S. flag? Help me out, Spike. What is that? Seals, the only quarterback I can think of that had more coordinators than Hurts was probably Alex Smith when he was in. Oh, white man. Of course. How could I not think Spit would have lowbrow thinking? White men. Yeah. Hey, Spit. I'll give a shit what you think. When you talk like that, you sound like an idiot. White man. Winning has no color. It's win. So Lynch wasn't on that team. Russell Wilson wasn't the same. I'm asking this. What is the plan for the Eagles if Barkley goes down? You had a plan last year after the bye. You had a plan. You changed it in the bye. And you ran the ball. What is the plan if Barkley goes down? What's plan B? Last year, plan B won the Super Bowl. What's the plan? You got to think Howie, Nick, Kevin Patullo. All of them have options. You don't go into a season not preparing. If there's one football team that prepares, it's the Eagles. Look at the way, you'll never hear me say this ever. They need to play in the preseason. You're never going to hear me say that. Okay? What is the plan? Yeah. And I saw a league catch up to Hurts, and he was a turnover machine for first part of last year. And from week 10 on, 23, they caught up with him. He was turning the ball over at a monster rate. What's the plan? Do you think you have enough to win the Super Bowl? Can Dillon and Hurts carry the running game? Can Jalen Hurts and A.J. Dillon, if Barkley goes down, that's your plan, right? And you can win the Super Bowl with a guy who didn't play a year ago and Jalen Hurts. Is that right? That's plan B. Do you go RPO again? Do you go back to the passing game? I'm asking you what you think plan B is. That means you're putting your defense on the field more. with 3 and outs. So, all right, Spike, we'll add Will Shipley. Shipley, Dylan, who didn't play last year, and Hurts, in your opinion, is plan B. Is that enough to win the Super Bowl? Yes or no? Barkley missed most of his career in New York with that O-line. I think so. Sills, is it plan A and plan B already set because we primarily run the ball with Barkley and pass with AJ and Smitty? Did it have any decline with Gainwell last year? Yes, but not much. So wait a minute. Okay, you think that O-line, I'm not saying you're wrong. I am not saying you're wrong. You want to hear something crazy? Let me ask you this. God forbid. Who would you rather lose? Barkley or Mulata and Lane? It's going to sound crazy. This is going to sound crazy. I'd rather lose Barkley. I'd rather lose Barkley. God forbid. Watch. Knocking on wood. Okay? But I don't want to lose Lane because I might be able to get somebody back there to be able to help get me to that. And remember something, get Hurts in the NFC title game. That would be, and I'm going to tell you if I think you have enough. The odds have been cashed in on Barkley this year. That's why they paid Barkley again. Eagles have a lot of visibility with Barkley, and the Madden seems very calculated, but good business practice. It is, but it's plan A big time. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, do I think the Eagles are going to have the same health that they've had the last couple of years? I do. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that ever since I've been covering your team, you've been one of the healthiest teams in the league, if not the healthiest team. I am not saying that. My point is, who's more expendable in a potential run back to the NFC title game? I think it's Barkley. Dude, I don't want to lose anybody in that O-line, even the center. Now, I'm not saying would it Barkley or Lane. I'm saying Lane and Mulata are more important than Saquon Barkley if you're going to try to repeat as champions, because you guys have shown you've won before with lesser dudes back there. I mean, DeAndre Swift, is he in witness protection? I mean, where did he go? I mean, it's like DeAndre Swift's in witness protection. Miles Sanders is fighting for his career in Dallas. That's like the 17th team running back. Okay? I mean, to me, it would be about getting Jalen in that offensive line into the playoffs. Do I think, get this, do I think you need Bart? Yes, I do, to repeat. But I'll tell you what I would want. I would want a puncher's chance with that old line if I went into the postseason. And my plan B, if Barkley goes down, you got to be thinking about it. 3 injuries in the last 6 years in his career, 420 carries. You have to at least have to have some type of contingency plan. I did knock on wood, brother. Seals, can you ask Clint Hurd if the Eagles are going to go after one of these free agents? Like, did you hear Alexander? Look, from what I'm hearing from him, they're pretty comfortable with the dudes they have. They're not going to break the bank for anybody. I find it almost, dude, for Alexander to be on the Eagles, he'd have to take $7 million. And that is a stretch. They are not looking to deviate off that plan. They don't think the rest. Here, I'll tell you what Clint said. Clint said this: I don't believe the league's caught us. And they took 3 steps back. Can you imagine? And I agree. They took 3 steps back, and you're still 2 steps ahead of them. I mean, you can't have any. And so to drop a $7 million nugget out there for Alexander, it doesn't make sense. Why would you cut up your plan, rip it up, and then have to potentially lose somebody like Nolan Smith? Why would you do that? Now, again, they're calculating that Smith's going to have a full season of success. They're calculating that. And I'm telling you, the number one reason is because of Vic. They think Vic's the guy to put him in position. I won't lie to you. Clint asked me about Nolan. I put him on the weak side. Don't play him strong side. As a matter of fact, let me see something here. I got an email from him on the depth chart. They have an off-season depth chart. Yep, they got him at will. Great. That's where you should line up. Will, open space. You don't want him on the strong side. Hunt's a bigger dude. That's why he's the strong side end. They got Ojulari in there. Only because he's an experienced guy. He will not win that job. If he wins that job, something happened to Jelix Hunt. And yeah, Nolan Smith is not a strong side outside edge. He is not. Taking on tight ends, that little guy and the top tackles, no way. No way. 4.4 speed, out in space, put him in a 7 and 9, let him hum off that corner. He'll kill the majority of the right tackles in the game. Plus, guess what you do when you got a speed guy? You know what I'm starting to like what defenses are doing? They're putting their speed guy in the face of the quarterback off the edge. You know what that does? Stops him from rolling right. Most quarterbacks are right-handed. Tendency is to roll right. Left-hand quarterbacks, obviously, going to roll left, right? Very few of them dudes. So what you do is you have a guy coming off, you see him, and what's he going to do? He's going to pause, and he's going to roll to the left. You're going to run right into pursuit, and you're going to run right in to your best true pass rusher. And you're going to run into traffic. See, Smith can also in space. Okay, remember this. You're going to be on the short side of the field. So you're going to have the sideline to help you too defend. I put him over there. He makes more sense over there. Oh my God, here's this guy. He's back. Dude, I can't even read this guy because I don't know what he's talking about. Bro, seriously, bullets were made for you. Let's see here. Sills, I know everyone wants Ringo to win a job, but why do I get the feeling that McWilliams kid will win the job? They got great talent. Okay, they do it. And they got young talent. On top of that, bend me over or my friend gets bent over. Our defense was so dominant last year because of being able to rotate. If Aziz and Uche can accept their role as rotational pieces and not complain about it, well, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. Sills, it did show Nolan playing both sides. I think I like the kid, man. Every time the kid opens his mouth, okay? Yeah, no. I bent my friend over, or my friend's bent over. I don't know. Don't be good. It's all right, honey. It's all right, Ben. Hey, Ben, if you get a handle like that, what do you expect Big Sills to do? Hey, that's cute. What do you think? I live out in LA or something? Hey, Ben, that's cute. Wow, Ben, real creative. Who do you hang out with? Dick Track? Oh, wow. Xander, can you believe how creative he is? Shit. Wow. Bent over? I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. Affirmation? Confirmation? I'm not sure, kid. It's all good. We're back to rare form, I can tell you, as you know. How you doing? What did Xander say before the show started? Here's what I think. Oh, no, I like Ben, my friend, over. Oh, my God. Hey, I think I could say that on my show. Hey, I like Ben, my friend, over. Okay. Here's what I say. The key, if you lose Barkley, I still think you can get there because I still think you're better. Won't be easy. And then you're in the room with everybody and you can get upset. But this is all still going to come down to that defense. Okay? Get this. Gabe says I'm speaking in fantasies. I wonder what that fantasy was in Detroit last year when they got banged up. Fantasies? You won a Super Bowl last year, Gabe, because of your depth. When guys were out, you had great substitution players. How many people believe that? When Slade went down, Isaiah went in. When Kobe went down, Orrin went in. When Mulata was lost for a month, Fred went in. I mean, that's not fantasy, jackass. Look at this guy again. There he is. I like these guys. This guy right here totally belongs to a dominatrix somewhere. He loves a beating. And get this, he's just jealous of the Eagles. Yeah, that's what I'm sitting here doing with my vapor rub mix, my Coca-Cola, my old lady glasses, my phone plugged in. I'm sitting here, I'm jealous of the Eagles. Man, jealousy's ruling. Oh, yeah, what else? Oh, and my dog. Yeah, wow. Man, I'm really jealous. Hey, Dick Face or Dick Train, should I do this? Hey, really jealous. I can't get over it, how jealous I am. Where's my boy Stevie when I need him? Oh, my God. I would have pursued B.J. Robinson and played him like Detroit does with Gibbs and Montgomery. I wanted him. Remember? I was making a pimp for them to draft him, but you got Carter. All good. That kid's a great football player. He's probably the best, would we not say, because McCaffrey's not healthy, he's probably the best dual threat running back in the game. I think he had 500 receptions or 500 receiving yards a year ago, just about. I think he had 1,200 like rushing yards or some shit like that. He's a player. He can play. He's a great player. It depends. Again, Michael Penix, I don't know who he is yet. We'll see. Mike goes like this. What did he say? Does Stevie have diapers? No, I do. Mike, my dog doesn't wear diapers. I do. Yeah, we get an order of depends. Sorry, Aunt Betty. Gibbs a great player. Gibbs is a great player. Absolutely. Look at you. Look at Abe. Wow. Really? Oh my God. You guys. All right. So let me do this here. I want to go to my boy, Nick Sirianni now. By the way, Xander will join us at 3:30. Gary Cobb will join us, I believe. Double check here. Gary Cobb will join us at 4:30 here. Yep. Let me double check here. Oh, yeah. Check it out. Dan, Tom Finks from behalf of the NFL trying to reach you regarding an appearance at Oceanside. Please let me know when you could talk. Hang on, guys. Hey, I'm on the air. I'm on the air. But we'll call right after. We'll call right after. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. So I'm going to be doing a camp for the NFL in Oceanside next weekend. $500. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, dog. Look at that. Look at that. $500. 500. How you doing? Yep, Tom Finks. That's who that was. I'm wondering who the hell's calling me from Chicago. So I'll be sitting there talking. Hey, you see this guy right here? Hold on here. You see this guy right here? Great. Hey, look at this. She's washed. He's too little. He fumbled the ball. He's just a little guy. Seriously, dude. I swear I saw that guy at Dodger Stadium over the weekend. Oh, no, it was Shea. Seriously, right? And I had the flag up and all. Pride flag. And I could have swore I saw you singing the national anthem. Sills has the consumer cell phone number. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Hey, I'm big time on my cell phone. Let's see here. Move your Kansas City toddlers to San Antonio's now defunct football league to compete in the junior. Jeffrey, that's good. Hey, do I think you have enough? Let me close that topic up. If you lost Barkley and you didn't lose anybody in the O-line, yeah. Like, you could lose Barkley, but not Hurts. If you lose Hurts and only have Barkley, it's over. Okay? Long as you have Jalen and that O-line, he's going to keep you in the building. Barkley may be the engine that's going to get you to the Super Bowl again. But you can't lose your quarterback. Tanner McKee, not happening. That's not going to cut it. Okay? You're just not. All right. So I had a debate over the weekend with somebody in Tampa about Nick Sirianni. Who's more respected? Vic, Jeff, or Nick? Put them in order. Put them in order. Who? And I'm going to make a comment, and actually, I'm going to come on Nick Sirianni's side. Who do you think is the most? Give me the top 3 most respected. Dude, I'll start to say this to you. I'm thinking that Clint Hurt and that Bobby King guy are starting to get tremendous success. Hey, by the way, I think having a great coaching staff is one of the most important things that any head coach can have. And any head coach who's ever won a ton has always had great assistant coaches. They have always been around and surrounded by great assistants. Okay? So don't you think, name me another place in pro football that here, and if we added Howie, Vic, Stoutland are more respected than Nick. How much do you think that hurts people's opinions of him? So, and by the way, not everybody's going to have clarity and go, yeah, but Sills, aren't you great with the people around you? Yeah, I believe that. But name me a place in the NFL where the head coach is not the most respected place in the building. And I'll show you a losing program. Give me a place that the head coach is not the most respected football guy in the building. Shit, you want to throw Big Dom in there for shits and giggles? All right. Name me a place where the head coach is not respected. And there's somebody else that respects a coach, a position coach more in the league. Name me a place. Give me a team of all 31 teams. Name me a team where the head coach is the 3rd most respected, and maybe the 4th most respected dude in the building. No, I'm asking you a simple question. Name me a football team where the head coach is not the most respected guy in the building. The Giants, losers. Carolina, losers. The Bears, losers. The Cardinals, losers. Okay? The Bengals, losers. The Cowboys, losers. Okay? You're making my point. You guys are making my point. It's not a rip. It's just that these guys, when you're anybody outside of Philly, no, I don't think the GM has more respect. The guy just won the NFL Coach of the Year. I don't believe that. The Bills, I think McDermott has, I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe Brandon Beane has more respect than McDermott. Maybe. That could be. More people think highly of Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. That's probably true, Spin Bad. That's probably true. Because I don't have respect for McDermott. I think the wrong coach is in Buffalo. Seriously, I think they carry that guy. The Dolphin head coach. Okay? And like I said, I mean, instead of wearing cleats, they wear like what? Crocs. How come every time when I think of the Dolphins, football players wear cleats, they wear Crocs when they play? No, I don't. I think Kyle Shanahan is respected more than John Lynch. No, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. Josh Allen carries that guy all day. They need a better coach in the building. Sills, would you pick Jalen Hurts over Lamar Burrow or Josh Allen if he was a head coach? He's a liar. These guys can't win big games. You're missing the fucking point, jerk. I would pick Howie. to be my GM. Head coach is irrelevant. It's the GM. Got to build the team. Jalen Hurts is not better than those players. Jalen Hurts takes advantage of the roster he has better than anybody in the league. He wins. He wins with them. Those guys don't have teams like him. It's not. You would not take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen with the talent in Buffalo. You wouldn't. Like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen with the same talent Buffalo has. No, thank you. I'll take Josh. Now, that's also would tell me, would I take Josh over Jalen in Philly? I don't know. Mike McDaniels thinks he's black. Ugh. Taylor, I don't know. Hey, Taylor, the guy wears a Hello Kitty backpack. I don't know. What do you, I've never seen a brother wear a Hello Kitty backpack. I don't know. Maybe Diddy. I don't know. I've never seen a brother wear a Hello Kitty backpack. Okay. I've seen him wear a couple things that, could go in a backpack, but I don't think, Taylor, I've ever seen a brother, and nor do I think a brother would ever be caught dead wearing a Hello Kitty backpack. I don't think so. Did you see a brother walking down the street with a Hello Kitty backpack? No, I don't know. I'm not thinking that. I see a white guy do that. That'd be an interesting call. Frank up there in Buffalo. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. I don't know how they'd go with that. They need a better go. Hello Kitty backpack. What's it got in there? Handcuffs? Sleeping pills. Hello Kitty backpack. It's got handcuffs and what else? It's got in it, right? Hey, you see Diddy's got a Hello Kitty backpack. Yeah, what's in it? Yeah, he's got handcuffs and rope and speeders and everything in there. Baby. Yeah, wait a minute. Hey, Spinbad, I already know now brothers ain't wearing anything with baby oil. Well, maybe, I don't know. For the ash, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. McVay should leave LA. Oh, my God. Would that be great? Sean McVay in Buffalo, right? Handcuffs and Crocs. Holy shit, is that funny? Yeah. So here, man, personally for me, this is one of the reasons I don't, you know what, though? Let me go on Nick's side. And believe, I don't know, let me pinch myself. I just said something. I don't know. Maybe letting others have the glory and everybody else having the fame and not me. Maybe that's a good way of looking at coaching. Is that not a character? Hey, man, it's all my assistants. It's the quarterback. It's Howie. It's everybody else. It's everything that Jimmy told me not to be, which was have everything about me. Right? So maybe there is a quality to that. That this is why Nick is getting success, right? Maybe that's one of the reasons why. Hey, yeah, Vic and Jeff Stoutland, those dudes, man, those guys are just great coaches. Clint Hurt got really a great coaching staff. Bobby King, Jeff Stoutland, our run coordinator. Now we got Kevin Petula who's just absolutely killing it. I don't know. I don't think it can be just that because I've always wanted to define what he does. And maybe what's becoming something that's becoming evident Is he turning out to be a good delegator? Is Nick Sirianni turning out to be a good delegator? I'm going to tell you this one more time. If I start to see people starting to do great things, you have to give them kudos for success. You just can't shit on them. I don't know, me and Angel will have fun at this, but all kidding aside, Nick is not the most respected guy in the building. Well, I don't know if that's true. How would you feel about this and working for a man like this? I get to do whatever I want. I get to coach my guys the way I want. You know, I get to tell my guys I have my influence in the game plan. Nick takes it all in. They put it all together and they make a secret sauce. Okay? Now, see, so imagine if Jimmy Johnson coached Josh Allen. Jimmy would get the best assistant coaches he could possibly find, and he would get the best talent he could possibly find. You understand something, Cosmo? Jimmy Johnson is one of the greatest coaches of all time, but he's also Howie Roseman. He's also Howie Roseman. But on the sideline, he doesn't coach. Jimmy never coaches. He only handles the 2-minute warning going in to halftime and the 2-minute warning at the end of games, timeouts. That's it. And he'll listen on the headsets, offense, defense, and he'll sit there and listen. And what he does is he gives a player review on Monday and he gives a coaching review on Monday. That's how he does it. Okay? That's how he would get the coaches. Maybe the coaches were Tuesday. And sip. M. Nick proved all us naysayers wrong by dominating and winning a Super Bowl. Can't dispute it. Could it be that Sirianni is going to be the source, such as the coaches, and developing them to be better coaches, to be better teachers to players? I can't dismiss that. Look, here's the worst coach on the planet, and I've been around him. Guy's up your ass every 5 seconds. I don't perform well that way. I used to have program directors that, get this, here's what they would do to me. Xander will get a kick out of this. So a program or a company would hire me, give me all this money, saw the success I had. I'd walk in, we're thinking of adding a segment to your show, and we're thinking about having a guy sit over here, and do updates and this and that. And I'm like, oh, whoa. I've had these calls. I've been in where I've been in room one day, and I go, whoa, why'd you hire me? You hired me to do a job. Or are you hiring me to do what? You're trying to make a show, or you're trying to recreate something that doesn't need to be fixed. You know how many times coaches do that shit? They'll draft a guy and then do this. Well, we want this guy to be this. And you're like, wait a minute, why'd you draft him? This is what that guy's skill set is. He does this. This is where this is where Vic is exceptional at coaching and teaching. So he'll look at a kid like Nolan Smith. Here, let me go down the list here. Let me give you the list here. So let's go down the list of the defensive players. Okay? And this is what here I would look at your defense. If I'm Vic Fangio, having seen the way he handles and having heard the way he coaches. So left defensive end. Okay. That's Moro Jomo. Well, they're not going to run the ball over there more. They're going to run the ball on the other side, towards Jalen Carter's side. So he's going to be more of a pass rush guy, and you're going to be going against a lesser tackle. Really? Okay. That kind of fits that guy's skill set. By the way, this guy Ty Robinson playing behind him, I'm going to make a proclamation. You ready, Xander? Ty Robinson beats Moro Jomo out. I bet you Ty Robinson beats Moro Jomo out. Why? Because he's more versatile. He's a better passer. He may not be as great a pass rusher, but I think he's a better run stopper. What's vital in Vic Fangio's defense? Not pass rushing. Shit, you won a Super Bowl with nobody with double-digit sacks. If you can't stop the run, I would take Ty Robinson over Moro Jomo any day. Why? He's a better run defender. I'm taking the run defender. Look who I have playing in the secondary. Look who my linebacker play. Moro Jomo is limited a little bit in run defense. Shit. You're back to your rotational, which fits him and why he was drafted. Right? He was drafted that way. I got Ty Robinson winning that gig. And that's why I got him playing behind him. Yeah, who do I got? Let me see what's his name sent me. You got Brian Young playing behind Jalen Carter. Yeah, okay. Why wouldn't you put over on the strong side of the defense Ty Robinson behind Carter? In case something goes down with Carter. No, you're putting him over there where he can win a job. Ty Robinson's in a position to win a gig. You hear Jalen Carter talking about him? They're like this. Man, this kid can play. See his footwork, see his hands. This guy's got an engine, runs to the ball. I mean, that guy needs reps. Where am I going to get reps? I ain't getting him over Carter. I'm getting over Moro. That's what I'm hearing. I asked him, what's his best thing? You know what Clint said about him? Ty? I'm kind of shocked. Nebraska guys traditionally don't have great feet. Outside of Adama Sue, name me a good defender on the D-line from Nebraska. Can you? Neil Smith, back in the day. Who else? They're not the most fleet of foot dudes. Like Neil Smith, probably. This guy played in the 80s and 90s. J.J. Watt is a Wisconsin guy. Okay? How much? He made $17 million last year. Did you guys see what Khalil Mack signed? 35-year-old dude. You see what Khalil Mack just signed? Did you see it? Khalil Mack came back one more year, and the Chargers gave him $17 million. I don't know. That's a pretty rich number. Bond's not going to be cheap either. That's going to be a big number. 14, 15, 16 for a rotation guy? I'm going to pass. If I'm going to pay 14, 15, I'm going to go get Alexander. You know? That's a big number, man. Yeah, Khalil Mack, he was debating on retiring. Look it up. Khalil Mack was going to retire. He goes, yeah, no, I'll play one more year. Chargers gave him $17 million. What? And you think the Eagles want to pay $17 million for a guy who's debating whether or not he was going to quit? Man, if I was going to pay $17 million, I'd have kept Sweat's ass. Right? Kept him in the same scheme. Khalil had 6 sacks last year. He was kind of banged up. And they gave him 17. I'm like, nah, I'll take the guy you got from the Giants at 3.5. See if I can work some magic out of that. Turn that lemon into an orange. I don't know. See, they got a bunch of lemons that you're trying to make into an orange on that defense. The Iche Uche Okalawa and the Aziz Ujala. Seriously, sounds like a Jamaican bobsled team. Iris Ukalacha Una. I'm like, come on now. I think Ojolari signed for 3.5. So whatever. No, man, I think the guy's rolling into his role, though, man. Good mechanics can do wonders with lemons. Yeah, all right. We got the guy from Virginia Tech. He had 17.5 sacks. Oh, yeah, the guy in the hey, tell me this. So a guy had 17 sacks, and he went in the last round. What do you think that means? Can I tell you what I think that means? And I have no info on this. What's the guy's name who had 17 sacks last year, and he went in the 6th or 7th round? Why do you think he went in the last round? It's just a little bit of what I heard. Is this his name? Why do you think he went? Why do you think he went? No, Virginia Tech's not a small. Virginia Tech is not a. It's not a small. It's not a small school. Why do you think he went? Short arms? Guys get away with that. They just signed an O-lineman with short arms. I think he's going to end up being a guard and not a tackle. I heard he's a little limited, and the Riddler kept popping up on his testing. I heard just a little bit that, I don't know, that when a playbook is in front of them, it looks like it's a a translator's book from the UN. It's got different language in there. I don't know. Yeah. Doesn't retain the intel too good. Just what I'm hearing. Is that Portuguese or is that French? Yeah. I don't know. It's just what I'm hearing. They say the kid's talented. I'm like, that doesn't shock me. So when you get a guy like that, you just wind him up and let him hit quarterbacks. Then you go, what? The guy go in the last round? He had almost 20 sacks a year ago. Well, let's just say this. A playbook, when it gets in front of him, dude struggles to get out of the picture section of the playbook. Hey, I'm not going to tell you who told me this. So, just, yeah. If you look at his tape, the dude has a huge bag of tricks to get to the quarterback. He already knows how to swim. Hey, bend my friend backside over. All I'm telling you is that, yeah, but he's got to know the system and the scheme he's in. You just can't wind him up and put him out there unless Vic will come up with a way to try to get him some snaps. Vic drafted him completely on talent. Not because this guy's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize for, cracking the atom. I mean, Hey, this guy's not going to win. Yeah, he's not going to win the Nobel Prize for physics. That's just what I'm hearing. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, he's very talented. Vic he'll take a chance on that. Yeah. There's guys hey, I'll tell you one more time about Junior Seau. Junior Seau was a dude that he never played in a scheme. He would constantly break down the defense that he was playing in. And yeah, he was just so gifted as an athlete, they had to find a spot for him. Some guys are like that. Some guys aren't. I mean, I wouldn't put Hassan Reddick in the room of molecular engineers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this guy didn't believe in one thing. Let me hit the quarterback and let me make TFLs. I mean, so the dropping in, why do you guys think dropping in coverage is so hard? Why do you think dropping in coverage would be hard for defensive players? What would you say would be hard about it? What would be hard? I'm not saying I'm just saying, hey, look, like I said, the kid that was taken in the 7th round, he's not going to win a calculus award. It's just what I heard. Okay. I heard he had a playbook in front of him and he started speaking in the tongues. Did he say the what? All right. That's all I heard. When you have to cover those complex pass routes, I mean, dude, you got to be like a linebacker. You got to playing linebackers hard. It's hard. All right. Gary Cobb will be with us at 4:30. You guys hit that like button. Hey, I was like this, man. This morning, I swear to God, I thought I was at the BET Awards. And it was like people were like crowning Angel Reese and such as like the athlete of the year. And I was listening to the 3 guys this morning talk to me about Jalen Hurts, Hall of Famer. And I'm like, wow, geez, Hall of Famer already, huh? Man. So let me think about somebody who had a good start like that. And it's Russell Wilson. And I swear to you, I did the same thing with him. That dude's a slam dunk Hall of Famer. His first 5 years, absolutely. Now, talking to Jason Cole last week, I said, you think Russell Wilson's in a conversation now? And he's played himself down into a conversation where before he was a slam dunk. He goes, yeah. And this guy's a 10-time Pro Bowler. Russell Wilson is a 10-time Pro Bowler. First team All-Pro 4 times. Like, very few quarterbacks have 10. I don't even know if Brady has 10. I mean, and not almost 90% he won. He ain't a Hall of Famer. Oh, wait a minute. He won 2. I got the numbers right here. More TD passes, more passing yards, higher percentage of wins. He was 46 and 18. What's Jalen? Jalen's 46 and 20, pretty much the same. One guy's got 14,000. I mean, in the first 4. I mean, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 starting. He's got 13,000. I'm not counting that year 20. And what's his name's got 13,974. I mean, these guys got pretty much the same start. Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer now. All right. Hey, by the way, say it again. If Eli Manning doesn't have 2 Super Bowl wins, he ain't getting in. He is not getting in. But because they're over Brady and Belichick, he is getting in. All right. Without further ado, show's kicking ass. Make sure you keep checking it out. John Xander go back and forth. They get great guests on the program, too. Without further ado, our boy, Big Z, Xander Krauss, joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
All good, dude. I mean, did you get my point about it's no rip. It's more of that you've got to be consistent if you're going to be one of the 371 men that make it to Canton. You pointed it out too. Hey, Brady had a decade gap in the middle of his career. There's going to be peaks and valleys in anyone's career. You and I were talking prior to going on the air. I thought Donovan McNabb was a slam dunk Hall of Fame player. In his last 4 years, he played himself out of the conversation. Right. Now, if he had won a Super Bowl and an MVP, it's a completely different conversation. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I do. I get where you're going with it, but the only thing I would say different, that I view it a little differently, is I don't know what's going to happen yet in Jalen's career. Okay. You know, like, I don't know yet. Like, it could be great. It could suck. The only thing I do know is that he's had 4 tremendous years, 4 years of unprecedented winning, and the accolades that he has, obviously, with the Super Bowl and the NFC and those things. So, going off of what I know, I would say he's definitely on the trajectory. Sure, it could change. It could definitely change, but I don't know that. I don't know what's going to happen.
Russell Wilson had the same start.
Yeah. Well, where I agree is that it could change. It could. Right?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not, because he's in a great organization.
You're just pointing out. I mean, you can't just sit here and say the guy's a Hall of Fame talent here today. No, you can't say that. But I do think he's in a good spot. I think he's on a hell of a start. I don't know how much better it could get, than what he's done. I know Russell Wilson's was right there too, but I think he's in a good spot. I think he's on his way. If he continues to keep his mindset, the philosophy the same, Sills, I think all those things come naturally.
What do you think is the most important thing he can't lose to keep this trajectory going? What do you think is the one thing he can't lose if this guy wants to see himself being one of those guys in Canton?
I think his approach. I think he approaches the game, wants to get better, wants to learn, wants to be humble, wants to figure out ways to get better. And I think that approach, and, I don't know if you saw the clip that went around of his agent this week. Like, that is rare mindset. Yeah. Just like, he's like, I got to be educated on being the highest paid player in the league. If I can't keep my team, I don't want that. And that's a rare mindset. That's a guy that actually practices what he preaches. So I think you got to keep that. You got to keep that approach. If you get greedy, or you get selfish, or you get, your head ballooned up a little bit and you don't feel like you got to work anymore, that's where I think that things will come off the rails. He has a desire to get better, and he seeks that out and pursues that right now. And I think that and coupled with his mindset is what will keep him on the right path.
See, for me, I'm going to go completely somewhere else than that. I don't think you can lose Howie, because you just said it. Keep building teams, or building the team. You can have all the work ethic you want. You could be the hardest worker. You could be the greatest winner. You could have the greatest mindset. But if you don't have a guy that knows what he's doing at building the team, because Hurts has nothing to do with that, and putting good players around him, you are not winning. I don't care if you're the greatest Joe Burrow on the planet. If you've got an organization that doesn't believe and building and winning, I don't care how hard you work. Welcome to the NFL. Giving you kudos for doing shit you're supposed to do. And I'm not ripping them for that. Okay? I think Howie Roseman's the most important winner, and he's the most important person in that building. As long as that dynamic, do you agree that Howie Roseman being around Josh Allen, how about if he had Joe Burrow? He'd be building that defense up by hiring Vic, by bringing people in. I mean, Burrow would benefit from that and from him. And so would Zach Taylor. Who's Zach Taylor?
No, I mean, it's a two-way street, though, right? Like, it is. I think it is a two-way street where Howie has the right quarterback that has gotten, the success out of the roster that he desired. I mean, just because you put a guy with talent in there doesn't mean he's going to get the most out of the roster. Now, there's a good chance. I get that. But I do think that Jalen deserves some credit. But look, you're not wrong. I mean, shit, if Howie leaves, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in Philly. I mean, look, Howie has earned all the credit he gets. So I don't disagree with that at all. He's got to obviously have Howie.
You just gave me a new topic. Do you think Jalen, it's not about how gifted you are, it's about if you're the right talent for how I want to build this thing. Not every house looks the same, Xander.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can have the most gifted guy in the planet in Baltimore, but if you don't know how to build around that and you don't know how to build it, you have to be the right guy in the right system. You know, people said this to me this morning, and they asked me a question about, we're going to get to Barkley here in a minute. Who are you more concerned about with where? Hurts and Barkley or Henry and Lamar? I said I'm more concerned with Lamar and Henry being worn out in that offense than I am anything else. I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Henry's
maybe.
31.
Yeah, that's true. Henry's 31, but I do think that the Eagles, I mean, they rode Saquon a
Yep. No,
lot.
I'm more concerned about Baltimore wearing those guys out than I am Eagles because
Yeah,
of the O
I think it's
line.
probably, well, Saquon's definitely a little younger, which helps when he got tread on the tires as a running back. That helps.
Yep.
And I think to your point about what you say with Jalen all the time is he's a smarter runner than Lamar. He's not a better runner than Lamar, but he's a smarter runner than Lamar. Like if Jalen runs the ball 30 times and Lamar runs the ball 30 times, I bet you Lamar gets hit 50% more than
Oh, yes.
Jalen does. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the numbers would actually be, but I do think it's a big difference there. And that probably is a big feather for, them not having to be impacted as much over the long haul or over the course of time.
Guys, hit the like button. Please, supers, go to the top. All right, I'm going to ask you again. We're 5 weeks out. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions as we go along this week. What is the plan if Barkley breaks down for 2025? What's plan B?
A.J. Brown.
Okay.
Is
that good enough to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, you take Barkley off the team. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win a Super Bowl. With Barkley, we have an uphill battle. It's hard to repeat in the NFL. It's just a reality. So, I don't know. You lose Barkley, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to be Super Bowl champions. Now, it depends on that defense, though. I mean, look, if that defense over-delivers and they're a top-5 unit again, I think you're going to be right there in the conversation. Now, will we have enough to get the job done? That would be arguable. But with Jalen, with Devontae, with Dallas, with all those guys, with A.J. Brown, I feel pretty good. But I'd feel a lot worse, obviously, if you lost Saquon Barkley. And I think that is the game plan, right? If Saquon goes down, what do? You turn to Jalen and you turn to AJ and you turn to Devontae and you say, all of you guys, I don't care how much you've produced so far, got to go way up. We need 50% increases, in order for this thing to work. So I think that's what would happen. That's what you would have to do.
This is going to sound crazy when I tell you this. It's going to be fucked up when I tell you. Ready? Hey, man, if you gave me an option and you told me, hey, Sills, you're going to lose Mulatto, Lane, or Barkley, I'd be like, I'd rather lose Barkley to give me a chance to get to the Final Four. I've seen Hurts get to the Final Four. Get me into the postseason. How crazy does that sound? I don't want to lose them two guys or anybody in that old line. I have a better chance, isn't it true, of getting back to the Final Four teams in the NFC without Barkley and my O-line intact than I do with Barkley and half my line gone. There's no chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've proven that, right? With 22, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't have Barkley in 22. So I think you're right about that. I mean, the only other time I could think of where this applied would be in 2017 when we went to the Super Bowl and we lost. Was it Jason Peters?
Yeah, Jason Peters left tackle.
Yeah, you lost Jason Peters. And you remember a lot of people kind of counted that Doug team out as well. So I think it would kind of depend on the situation. But overall, yeah, I would agree. I mean, running back is going to be more replaceable in this offense than replacing two tackles who, I mean, Lane Johnson is arguably could go down as a top 3 right tackle of all time. And Jordan Mailata is playing like the best left tackle in football right now. So, I mean, it's pretty rare you get those two type of dudes on the same team. So I will agree with you on that.
How about this? There was a time with Miles Sanders and with DeAndre Swift before the meltdown You were 24-4. You were 14-3, and then you were 10-1, right? You were 24-4
Yep.
You went 24-28 ball games with those two dudes.
And it would actually be better with the playoffs.
Yeah, because you got
They were
beat
3-1 in the playoffs. Oh no, they got the first round bye.
That's
Did
right.
they get the first round bye?
Yes,
Did they get the first round bye in 22?
Yeah, because they hosted the NFC title game against San Francisco that year.
Right. So they were 2-1 in the playoff. Yeah. So I mean,
15-4.
It's pretty amazing.
Right. So to me, that O-line is going to be key. Hey, by the way, did you hear my my Big Sills, one of my Big Sills 2025 bold predictions?
What's that?
I got Ty Robinson beating out Moro Jomo.
Taking a little bit of that Jalen Carter talk and applying it to the analysis here, Big Sills. I don't hate it. Huh?
Not just him.
Not just him. You got a little birdie on the inside there telling you Ty Robinson's a good player. Yeah, no, I like Ty a lot too, man. I like him because he's smart. I like him because he's physical, and I like him because he's aggressive in the way he plays the game. So I do think Moro is still going to be used for pass heavy downs or for to rush the passer. Moro was a great pass rusher, but that'd be a big one. I'd be very happy with that, and that would be another, man. If we get another third round pick. Right, Ty was third. Yeah, that contributes year one like that. That would be unbelievable. Because think about it, Sills. I brought this up on Birds this morning. This is like this defense is like relying on those second year guys. You got Quinion, Cooper, Jalix Hunt. Is all of a sudden a starting guy, and then Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who's going to be kind of the Oren Burks this year in a way. So, you're relying on a lot of these young boys. If you get Ty Robinson to come in here, that's a young defense, man. That's a young defense.
Look at what you have right now. So Moro Jomo, I think, was a seventh round guy.
Jomo was a seventh.
You got a third rounder in Robinson, first rounder in Davis and Carter and Smith, a free agent in Bond, third rounder in Dean, a third rounder in Jalix Hunt. By the way, Jalix Hunt's going to beat out Ojulari. I asked why he's second team because I'm looking at the depth chart that Clint gave me. I go, what? Ojulari, where are we going with that? He goes, the guy can't play the run. Everybody in New York knew it. That's why they let him walk, is because he had issues against the run. He's a good pass rusher now. And you know what else he does pretty decent? They told me he really drops good in coverage, and he understands the technical part of dropping in coverage. It's what's really appealed to Vic. I was like, wow, I never heard that. He goes, yeah, he understands the coverages and the drops. It's why he's getting, who's getting the reps? Hunt and Ojulari are getting the reps. If Uche's going to make the team, it's going to be situational pass rushing. Okay, so that's how they're looking at it like this, Xander. I'm like, what's the rotation right now? He goes, well, Hunt needs reps. I said, yes, he needs reps. He's going to play a lot in the exhibition season.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, they're gonna get him up to speed.
Joshua Uche, if that guy pans out, I'm riding that take all the way to the bank, baby.
What they're gonna do with him, I heard, is they're gonna put him, and he's gonna be a nickel a lot. Okay, they're gonna have him a nickel because he's not the greatest on the run. Neither is Ojulari, but Ojulari's good in coverage. They like Ojulari more than they like Uche because Uche can drop in coverage and he can pass rush. Uche's not the best in coverage. So the other guy, again, Hunt needs reps. The only reason he's in second team, Xander, is reps. You got first team, you got another first rounder in Mitchell. You got a free agent in Reed. You got a second rounder in a free safety. They moved up Keely Ringo to starting?
Well, I do think Ringo. Yeah, I think he's going to be starter. Yeah. They moved it in the depth chart, though?
What's that? They moved it in the depth. For whatever reason, they're going back and forth every month. I don't know why. I don't know what that means. I think it's got something to do with workouts, maybe what they're watching on tape. They're watching a shitload of the OTA stuff. I'm like, can't be too much. You guys practice once. He goes, well, do you think that we're winning with it? And I go, they are winning with it. So it is really hard for me to sit there and, criticize anything that they're doing. All right, let me ask you this. So I'm gonna relent a little bit. By the way, all supers go to the top. We will read them at the end of this segment. Gary Cobb's going to join us at 4:30. Please hit the like button. So do you agree that one thing that Nick Sirianni's doing as a coach? What do you make of this? He's not the most popular guy in his own building. Name me a place in the NFL where assistant coaches are more popular than the head coach. And every place that you will be losers. Every place. Every place. Now, I'm not ripping him here. What I'm saying is this. Is this not how he's evolved into this? Hey, man, my assistant coaches are really great. Look at what they're doing here. Vic is really doing – I'm learning so much from the guy. Look at Stoutland. Stoutland's really just a great coach. He's the best offensive line coach that we have. We got so many great coaches. Bobby King, look at the job he's done. I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that this guy is really working into being this delegator guy. He may not be a modern-day head coach he may not be an old-school head coach that I respected or, look at, but he might be, again, the coaches that today, that like you said, Xander, there's a front office that wants to pick the coaches, and he likes these guys. He signs off on these guys. He brings them in. They work together. Nick looks like he works with people better than any coach that they've had, maybe since Andy Reid.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing I think with this that I'll circle back to is I truly believe this is going to be more and more prevalent in the NFL because teams have gotten so big now. The days of Jimmy Johnson's era are so far gone. I mean, there's companies that raise money in New York City that are 1/50th the size of an NFL franchise, and their CEO's got to submit an approval inquiry to go to the bathroom, because everybody has this role. And I'm not saying the football is going to get to that point, but you got a $10 billion organization here. The coach doesn't do everything anymore. It's the coach is the coach of the football team. You don't even have to worry about personnel. You don't have to worry about contract, nothing. You don't worry about anything but the football field. And I think you're going to start to see that happen more. And to Nick's credit, all right, it's a different skill set, like you just said, than you're used to, but it is a skill set. It's hard to do. It is. It's not It's not as easy as people think, where it's like, oh, he's a water boy. No, not really. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
This is an ego league.
Yeah, 100%. Ego league, ego owners, ego GMs, everybody.
Coaches,
man, you got to be
players.
able to get everybody bought in and working on, in tandem to go for a common goal. It's a hard job, and Nick has definitely done a good job at it.
See, to me, man, I mean, could I do – I mean, hey, giving everybody else all the credit, yeah, but dude, I guess when you get $15 million a year, it's kind of easy to go, hey, this guy's great and all this, and I get it, but I don't think the money there, again, I think don't you agree? No matter how much money you make, ego always supersedes the salary you're making. You're always going to come unglued on something. And no matter what it is, it's just your competitive nature. Money doesn't keep you grounded when it comes to ego, because everyone has one in that sport. I think what he's done, I'm going to disagree with Angelo on one part with this. The one thing that he's doing is managing himself well. Or better. He's managing himself better. Screaming at the crowd was stupid. It was infantile. And it was high school. Well, I don't know. Being around Vic and being around Stoutland, I think it's made him a better coach.
Yeah, and I think it balances out like that infantile a little bit, where I agree with you. Like, you even have Jalen Sills. Sometimes if you have too much of that, you take the fun out of a football team. And I'm not saying that Nick is all that. I'm just saying I think it works because you have, like you just said, Vic Fangio, who's the way he is, Stoutland. You got Jalen, who's this cool, calm cucumber type of dude who doesn't get phased, doesn't have emotional highs and lows or any of those things. So you're right. I mean, I think those guys all help Nick Nick be Nick, but I do think he's gotten better at it, to your point.
You know, I brought a topic up with you, and I'm going to circle back with a couple more here, guys. Please hit the like button. And I'm going to circle back here because this was a comment that was made, and I posted it. This is Jalen Hurts when he got benched at Alabama. Said, I cried, asking my dad, what are we going to do? What was I going to do? And his dad was commenting and said, it takes courage to do that. I respect that because that paved the way for me to believe that I could overcome anything. So again, this guy from the 2022 Super Bowl loss to the meltdown of 23, Hurts is becoming a better player based off of Bama, transferring, the 23 meltdown, the 22 Super Bowl loss. I think he learns more from his failures than his successes.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think he does 100%. I think that most people could probably say that too. You learn more in lessons of failure and moments of failure than you do in moments of success, for sure. So certainly has been the case with me in my life. And I thought that quote was great. You know, and I think it does show you that might have been the best thing that ever happened to Jalen Hurts. We might not talk about Jalen Hurts. We might not even know of Jalen Hurts in terms of this level without that happening at the University of Alabama. I mean, think about it. He was never supposed to be a top pick. He was never supposed to be even after he went to Oklahoma and revived, kind of the image and passed the ball better, he was still a second round pick. And most Eagles fans, most people who are fans of Jalen Hurts probably thought that was too high for him at the time. You know, I remember the famous Philly 500 video reacting to Jalen Hurts getting drafted. He's like, what the F? I mean, the reality is nobody thought this guy was coming. So I think a lot of those things, certainly, it brings up a Jalenism too. You either win or you learn, Sills. You either win or you learn.
You do. I again, and I posted that and I go, I wonder what Saban again. I'm circling back with you because you were there. I wonder what that guy really thinks because I talked to Dave Wannstedt and I asked Dave Wannstedt, dude, if you're the Dolphins, who would you rather have? Jalen Hurts or Tagovailoa? Who would you rather have as your quarterback?
Hurts or Tua?
Yeah.
Oh, Hurts, not even close.
Hurts, Tua's not awful, man. He led the NFL.
No, I'm not saying he's awful at all. He's not awful. But he's limited. He's got a limited skill set. There's only so many ways to win with him.
I'm not giving him that contract.
Yeah, how many?
I would
they
never
gave
have
they
given
gave him a big deal, right? He got a big deal.
$53 million.
Yeah, everybody.
I'm not giving him that day, right? I'm not.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'd rather have Hurts. I'd rather have Hurts over basically everybody except for three guys.
Oh, now it's up. He's top 4 now.
Well, that's a different category than if you select a team, I think. I mean,
okay, all right.
If I got any quarterback available, I'd probably have Hurts 3 or 4. Yeah, I mean, I'd have Mahomes because I think his success speaks for itself. It's hard for me to look past that, and I'd probably have Josh Allen just because I'm a huge Josh Allen fan, and I think Josh Allen if Josh Allen had an organization like Philly, I think he'd be in rarefied air. But he doesn't, so it's hard to gauge. But I think Hurts is right there. I love Burrow, but I have a little bit of an issue with what happened last year. I mean, you win 8-9 games, and Jamar Chase is getting the triple crown. It's like, are you Dak Prescotting it? Like, are you just looking for stats? Like, how does none of those stats lead to more wins than that? I don't know. I got a little bit of an issue with that, but Joe Burrow is great too. Great player. He's one of the best players from the pocket, I would say, in the NFL for sure. So Joe Burrow's up there. He's top 5. I mean, no doubt. And then Lamar. I mean, Lamar is one of the most rare athletes the NFL's ever had.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has. So Lamar would have to be way up there too.
Like I've not seen anything like that.
Who will win a Super Bowl first? Ready? Josh, Lamar, or Joe?
Baltimore will because
they have a better team.
They're better organization.
Better organization.
It's just Buffalo. I think Brandon Beane's good. I've learned one thing covering.
It's the coach I don't like in Buffalo.
Me too, man. I don't like the
It's
whole
McDermott, and
organization.
they're stuck on him. They won't move off him.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it reminds me of when the Cowboys kept Jason Garrett around all through Romo's prime, and you're just like, what are you doing? But I didn't have a problem with Dallas doing it, but I think the Bills should move on. I will say this: the Bills are my pick this year, though, in the AFC. I think the Bills would get the job done.
I'm gonna hang on Baltimore.
That's you, John, and Jeff Kerr are all on Baltimore in the AFC this year.
I think Baltimore has, because of what they did with their team defensively. I think, that Malachi Starks kid next to Hamilton, you keep an eye on that dude. That's going to be – so here, a couple last ones here.
Baltimore does
Nolan
draft
Smith,
good.
What's that?
They draft good, Baltimore.
They do. Them and the Rams outside of Philly.
Les Snead's amazing in L.A.
Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Josh Sweat, and BG. You're good with that, right? The replacements.
What do you mean go with it?
Nolan Smith.
Optimistic on it?
Jalen Hunt replacing Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. You're good.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that's an uphill battle to say that they're going to replace those two guys. I mean, Brandon Graham Brandon Graham is a little easier to replace, obviously, because he was on a more limited role. But I do think he provided you a lot to that defense. Josh Sweat's hard to replace because I don't know if you're going to have what edge rusher is that every down? Does Josh Sweat become, or does Nolan Smith become Josh Sweat, and Jalen Hunt becomes? Well, they could be their own person, but I don't know. I think they both have that every down versatility. But how effective will they be? I don't know. Josh Sweat did have a good year last year.
I mean, does Jalen Hunt replace Brandon Graham? Remember when Brandon Graham got hurt a year ago?
Yeah.
Dude, when he was in that Ram game, he was the best player on the field defensively.
That's when Nolan stepped up. Nolan stepped up when Brandon went down.
He did.
And then it became Nolan and Josh. So now you need Nolan to be paired with, Jalix, and then they both need to thrive. And then you need, I think after that's where it gets worse. Last year, still as Jalen Hunt showed up, he's got Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Brandon Graham, and Nolan Smith in front of him. Now he's got Nolan Smith. That's it. His role is way bigger this year, Jalen Hunt's. And then you're relying on Uche, Ojulari, Patrick Johnson, and some of these other dudes to beat essentially what Nolan and Jalix were late in the year, which was they were good. So that's a tough ask. There's no doubt. I mean, the dominoes fell there, and you don't know if you have everybody in the room, but I am pretty optimistic on it. I think Jalix is a bigger upside than I think Jalix could be a better player than what Sweat was in his prime. He's not that yet, but I think he could be that.
He looks the role.
I agree.
He looks the role here.
He definitely looks the role. What is he, 6'4"? He's a big dude. Yeah.
I thought he was more 6'1.5". I didn't realize it once again.
Yeah, he's bigger. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't realize he was as big as he was until I saw him, lined up with some other players.
All right. 5 years from now, who will be revered in the league more? Who will have more Pro Bowls? Whose career will be trending up? Jalen Carter? Q? Or Cooper DeJean?
What was the question? Because aren't they all trending up?
Who will have, in 5 years, a better place in the league? Have had a better career so far? Carter, Cooper DeJean, or Cooper, or Q?
I'm going to say Carter here because I think defensive linemen kind of have that type of pedigree more often than a defensive back does. I mean, how many times you see a defensive back come into the league and they're great, and it's not to say that they're not, but that they're not going to be great players, but I don't know, like JC Horn, that guy just got paid massive money. I don't think much of that player. I don't know. I just wonder if you're a great D tackle in the league, everybody knows you. I feel like Jalen's going to have that.
You know why I'm going to say Cooper DeJean?
I knew you were saying Cooper when you didn't even need to tell me any other names. I would have said you were picking Cooper.
You know why?
Why?
Your fan base is going to propel that guy and make him a bigger star than Jalen Carter. You're going to make him a bigger star. Shit, every time the guy walks in the room, Coop! Coop! I don't hear anybody talking like that shit about, you're right, Jalen Carter will be the better player. But you know who will be the most recognizable player on your team in 5 years? It'll be Coop. Dude, this guy goes like this. He walks over, drops it on the bar table. Every chick is in the bar. What is it? Wildwood? He's at the Wildwood, dropping it on the table. Coop! You got the honeys.
Ocean Shitty. That's what I call it. Ocean Shitty.
Hey, guy talking shit on Ocean City. That's why.
Ocean Shitty. That's what it is.
Yeah. Dude, that guy is going to be this guy's going to be looked at like Brian Dawkins.
I could see that. Are they going to drop him back to safety and really solidify the next B-Dog?
I think they have to. I think if you keep him in the slot, you're going to undervalue him.
Yeah, I do.
Put him in that safety. Put him in the
he
safety.
He can make a lot of plays at safety, but I don't know if they'd want to move him there. Remember that song? Man. Cooper DeJean is not a safety. He's just a quarter. He'll lock down your number one. What's
He's
that?
got a fucking song?
Come on. You haven't heard the song?
No.
What?
You got to send it to me. So this guy's got a song.
Is not a safety.
And he knows it.
He'll lock down your number one. Dude, that song is great.
This thing's over. This thing, if this guy
is CB1.
Holy shit. And he knows it. I'm telling you.
Let me find the Cooper DeJean song. You will love that. Let me tell you. I did not know you didn't see that.
Bro, in 5 years, you got a song after his ass.
Somebody made it last year. It wasn't like a.
Oh my God, this guy's gonna be the most.
I probably can't play it on the air because it's got background music that's copyrighted. But let me see.
You got to send it to me.
I'm the Jackie Robinson of the NFL.
Right.
It's not a safety. He's just a corner who'll lock down your number one. DeJean is CB1.
DeJean is CB1. I can't
believe my God.
Send that to your Twitter. You'll love that.
Oh my God. Please do. Oh my God. They got Michael.
I love that song. I can't believe you've never heard it.
I have not. That's hot. That's fire, dog. That's fire. All right. Hit that like button. Let's get to some of these supers. Guys, supers support the show. We appreciate you guys. Throw them in here. Gary Cobb will join us.
Ocean City's the place to be. That's where my girlfriend goes. So I always tell her, get out of Ocean Shitty and get to Cape May. It's where the winners go. It's where the champions go.
The champions.
Kimberly says, Coop is to the Eagles what Caitlyn Clark's to the WNBA. I don't know about that.
I'll tell you this. SGA, who? Caitlyn Clark over the weekend. Can you imagine this? So wait a minute. The NBA didn't want to play on a Sunday because they were afraid of the U.S. Open. And they waited until Monday. Could you imagine the NFL doing this, Xander? Hey, we're gonna move the Eagle game. And we're going to move the Eagle Cowboy game, and we're going to play it because the U.S. Open's playing. Holy shit. And Caitlyn Clark, hey, I watch her. SGA for the Thunder? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was in a mall, Xander, and I put SGA in a mall, 3 people would know who he was. If I put Caitlyn Clark in a mall in Philly, everyone would know who that chick was. Give me a break.
Caitlyn Clark.
Unbelievable, man. Hey, 32-9 and 8 the first day back.
Here's Christopher Michael. Just a random question. Favorite Eagles player of all time and why? Dawkins. I see you said the same one. Mine is Dawkins. Leader, passionate, playmaker, tone setter, humble. Who now is that guy?
I'll tell you who mine is. Now,
all right, so on current team?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, now. I'll do both. One all-time and one today. So I won't use Jerome. I'll tell you who mine is, man. Mine's Andre Waters. I'll just tell you why. When he stepped on the field, man, you know how you're like Tony Soprano, you're talking to a kid and he's pissing his pants because he's going to get shot in the chest.
Yep.
That's kind of like when Andre Waters was on that team, dude, with him and Wes Hopkins patrolling that secondary. Hey, man, people feared that team because that guy was a headhunter. He would knock the shit out of you. And I'm privileged to have known the man. But I'll tell you, so Cooper's now my favorite. Cooper and Mulata. So, but I'm going to go Cooper right now.
I know Cooper's your favorite. Big Sills loves Cooper. I think today it's Saquon, Christopher, for me, for today's team. Because I think Saquon came and like you just said, leader, passionate, playmaker, tone setter, humble. Couldn't you apply all those words to Saquon Barkley too? You know, I feel like it's Saquon for the team today. And you're not going to like this. My favorite Eagles player of all time is Brian Dawkins. That's who I had a bunch of jerseys of when I was a kid. But it's quickly it might become Jalen Hurts.
He's a great football player, man. I mean, I would say this in the last 45 years. Has there been a better? I would only say that, I mean, you could go Troy Polamalu and obviously
Did you hear what I said, though?
Dawkins, I heard you say that. I heard.
And Jalen is becoming it.
Jalen's your favorite Eagle.
He's becoming my favorite Eagle.
Why?
Because he's done what everybody else failed to do.
So the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl win to you. Okay. When you look at the great players that you watched.
Remember, I am factoring in still. It's a very small sample size. How many years was McNabb here? You know, and he didn't get the job done.
Like a decade.
And a lot. You know, Jalen's been here 4 years. He's gone to the Super Bowl twice. In the one that we didn't win it, I cannot say that he puked and lost us the game. He was superb in that game. And then we returned a year and a half later to go back to win it. You know, so I'm not saying he is yet. I'm just saying Jalen Hurts on this trajectory will be everybody's favorite Eagle in 10 years if he wins at this clip for the next 10 years.
I love this. I love this super chat here. And you know what? I'll give you a precursor to it. So that's a good one. East Coast, Rico.
What's y'all score for week 1? East Coast, you want to score? It's June, my friend. I got one for you, though.
Go ahead.
31-10.
Ooh.
31-10.
If I'm giving you one right now in June 16th, I got 38-17.
Birds? It's a crushing blow.
Hey, I think it'll be close in the first, like 10 points.
Did you hear the Dak Prescott quote that came out today?
Oh, God, please give me content, please.
He just said he wants to win a Super Bowl this year.
Now, here, I'll ask you this. Do you think it's Dak failures in the postseason, or do you think it's Cowboy failures?
It's both, but it's Dak too.
No, pick one.
It depends which one you're talking about, because not every playoff game he's played poorly, but the most recent one when he threw 2 picks, like, dude, if we lost the playoff game in Philly and our quarterback threw 2 picks, we'd have his head on a silver platter. We had Jalen's head on a silver platter. He had 0 picks. He just didn't have his best game versus the Rams and versus the Packers. And we were ready to freaking chop him, like chop suey. Come on, man. The quarterback can't turn the ball over in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if Jalen plays like that in Dallas, he's not getting to that NFC title game.
Well, why? He could play
because
like 22 Hurts in Dallas.
The quarterback in Dallas or anywhere else has to play great every week. You just can't fucking just show up and not play, and the other components of the team play better.
What was Dallas's record last year with Dakota?
Do you see my point? Jalen doesn't have to play great in 3 straight 4 games. He just doesn't. These other places, these guys have to. So again, Xander, that's an organizational thing. I think the Cowboys, I'm not saying, but here, look this. Jalen Hurts has had some pretty bad fucking snoozers too in the postseason. The problem, or the thing to his credit, is that his team's better and his team wins. He doesn't have to play great. You're trying to tell me he hasn't had Dak moments? He's had turnovers in playoffs, and they've won.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
So you think it's the Cowboys?
I think it's him too. I do. I don't want to fence straddle too, but I think it's more the Cowboys.
I need Philly 500 in here. He'll go belt the ass on Big Sills too.
No, wait. Jalen hasn't played great in every playoff game.
No, he didn't. He didn't play good in the Packers game or the Rams game last year. All right, here we go. East Coast, we got that one.
And if he plays like that in Dallas, he gets bounced.
Lamar Davis says, I feel like Jalen's ceiling is Troy Aikman, not Russ.
Okay, well, that's 3 Super Bowl wins. Okay.
I think it's a little higher than Troy. Kimberly says, Vic loves Georgia boys. Versatility, 8 now. Coach Bell.
Let me ask you something here. Do you think he throws for more yards in his career than Donovan? 37,000.
What's he up to now?
14.
14?
Yeah, 14.
If he plays another 10 years.
That's 28.
Yeah. Wow, it's more than 28.
Well,
look at Sills saying average out at 2,800 a year.
Yeah, right.
You just can't escape being an asshole. You just have to get an asshole comment.
Just saying.
Another 10 years is 28 G. Wait a second. He's put up 14 in 4 years.
He's got 14 now. Another 10 years is 28.
14 and 4, though. Kyle says, Sills and Xander, I'm in the process of buying a house. Look at that.
Look at you, man.
Kyle, good job, brother. Keep grinding, man. Keep grinding.
Hey, Kyle.
Again. Good.
I'm in the process of buying a treehouse. Hey, McNabb was thrown for 37,000 in 13 years. You think Hurts passes the all-time leading passer in?
I think it's going to be an uphill battle, but I think he could get close. He's already at 14K. Kyle says A-Track is Helen Keller until further notice. Kyle again. Sills, I know everyone wants Ringo to win the job, but why do I got the feeling that McWilliams kid could win the job? Well, I don't know about that, Kyle.
Kyle likes that roster, boy, I'll tell you. So look at this here, too.
Kyle's been Sileo eyes. He's been taking them Sileo gummies too much.
234 TD passes never happened.
All right, we got all this.
Yeah, he ain't.
All right, good stuff.
He ain't passing McNabb. He's not passing
Jalen,
McNabb all time.
I think he'll pass him.
So wait a minute.
I mean,
you think he retires?
You know, to be fair to me,
you think he retires an Eagle?
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Brady
I do. I honestly believe that. I don't know. AJ Brown, I think that's a tough conversation. A lot of these other dudes, Saquon, even tough conversation. I feel like Jalen's going to finish his career as an Eagle.
Brady didn't finish his career as a Patriot.
So, I know. I get it's an uphill thing. I mean, I understand it's unlikely. I just feel like the way it ended with Donovan and Jalen's already done what no other starting quarterback has done for the Eagles in terms of winning a Super Bowl. I feel like, and you also heard his agent about the contract. I mean, you've been saying, where's his new deal? It doesn't sound like he's going to want a new deal until this thing's closer to being over. He said to Nicole, I don't want to be the highest paid guy in the NFL. Why'd you do that for me? And she said, listen, Jalen, it doesn't affect the cap. This is why it works. This is why you can keep your teammates. And he's like, all right, that works. You know, I don't think he's coming back looking for another deal. So I think he's going to be here for the long term, and he's got a good chance to finish his career.
Hey, I can't wait to see Gary Cobb. Hey, Gary, do me a favor. I don't want you to take a new contract. I want you just to keep your, you just keep going that way. I don't want you to be paid the highest paid linebacker.
You keep saying this, though, but Jalen Hurts proven that he actually is different with this stuff.
No, Brady was too. He was.
Yeah,
and so is Mahomes. Mahomes is not even in the top 13 highest paid quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's true. What do you got? He got that 10-year, $450 million.
Yeah, he's got $450 million now. I know. Right?
He got $450 large guaranteed, my friend.
Hey, man. Good stuff, Big Z. We'll catch you on the morning show.
Thank you, brother.
I love G Cobb, man, because I just got a text message, and I hope he knows this guy. They want me to do a camp. His name is Tom Finks. Wants me to do a camp in Oceanside. And I'm going to be – can you imagine me? Big Sills, what do you tell the young guys? Never take shit. Make sure you take the most money. Hey, and if an alumni guy comes with you with a handshake and it's down, always accept it because you never know what's under that shell. Hey, that's just the Miami in me. Yeah, but I'm sure G Cobb never. You know, they had a guy at UCLA. What was that guy named? Sam Gilbert? During the UCLA days. You try to tell me USC didn't have a guy rolling around back then when they had all them guys, all them Hollywood guys. G Cobb must have been going to, you know how many Oscar events he must have went to? He was at Southern Cal. Listen, if you live in LA, everybody's USC or UCLA in that city. Everybody, no matter if you're on the air, no matter if you're a corporate guy. That must have been a ton of fun here. All right. Without further ado, this is my time. And this is one of the best times of the year because you get ready for the upcoming season. We're 5 weeks out. Without further ado, our dear friend from Fox 29 in Philly, it is indeed the legendary Gary Cobb. He joins us now. G Cobb, how you doing, brother?
Good. How you making out?
How about this, Gary? Do they still have that same kind of alumni that they had back when you guys were there? Because you guys were rock stars. You guys were bigger fish in Los Angeles than the Rams. USC was a bigger ticket. It's kind of like when you're in Florida. You know, it's either the Gator tickets or the Bucks. Most people would pick up the Gator tickets because Gator football is enormous in that state. And in that city, I always said it, man, USC was a 33rd team. Do they still have that kind of passion for the program?
Yeah, they do, I guess, in a way, but you know, they haven't won as much. You know, they don't really. I don't think the legacy is there as much because, you know, everything was. Well, you know, you had people that were there so long. You know the winning was just assumed. You were going to be winning.
Coach Robinson.
That's right. You had those guys there, and then of course all the assistant coaches were there a long time and everything. So I mean, just you see the helmet or whatever, people go crazy, man. You know, we had we would fill up the Coliseum. The Rams weren't filling up the Coliseum.
No way.
No, and USC football, man, the people just went crazy. I mean, about it. But so that was a fun time and everything. But yeah, they don't have it like that because they're not winning as much. You know, come on. When is the last time they really been in a hunt for a national championship? It really has kind of. It's not there right now.
I'll tell you what was really cool, Gary, is that I got a chance when I was with the Cowboys. I don't think you were there. I played the Raiders. I think it was a preseason game. It was the first time I had ever played in the Coliseum. And I got to tell you, man, that's one of the coolest places that I ever played. I'm sitting there, I'm having a good time, and I hear Howie Long do this. Hey, Sileo, I can eat a bowl of soup off your head. And I'm sitting there and I turn around. And there's Matt Millen, because, you walk out together. The two teams walk out together out of that tunnel. But that place was just absolutely
the Raiders were characters, boy. They were a crazy team, man. Those Raiders with Matt Millen and those guys, man. That was a group there. But we had a lot of SC guys who were on that team. But anyway.
Oh, absolutely, because I loved recruiting Southern Cal. Gary, I'm going to ask you a question here about Saquon Barkley here. So, if Barkley breaks down, what's plan B in 2025 for the Eagles if he breaks down?
Now, this is heresy to be talking like this.
I'm just kidding. Hey, don't you think you've got to have a – well, last year –
without a doubt, you got to have another option. You got to be thinking of, can you win with that?
They have enough to get to the NFC title game if he breaks down.
That's a great question, boy. I couldn't say yes, right away to just say, oh yeah, without a doubt. Well, they definitely are going to have to, if that were to happen, they really are going to have people that are going to have to really step it up, and they would have to prove that, because I couldn't really say that they do right now, because the passing game would have to step up. Jalen's taking more weight on his back, where you just don't have that run threat there to that extent. And I don't know where their running game would be, without him there. Yeah, you do have that offensive line still.
Would he have to run the ball more? More RPO?
Well, I think they would do. Yeah, they would have to do
on him.
Yes, it would be more RPO, but yeah, I would say he's got to take more of the offense then. Yes, without a doubt, he's got to take more of the running game, and they got to be better. So your passing game's got to be better. They're going to have to take more of that of the weight. Without Barkley there. So if that were to happen, man, that would really, well, you really would find out how good people are, man. That would really be, stepping it up. But we're going to find out some of those things, this year. But I couldn't say yes. That would be a big question mark to me, man. If they could do that without Barkley in there, without his threat in there, because I want to see more out of the passing game. But part of that would be because he's such a threat. If he's back there, if he's not back there.
Do you think they're pushing their chips in too much on this gamble? Because again, you were not developing balance a year ago. You were one-sided. And
Correct.
The conversation with Eagle fans is, well, they could have broke it out of the garage anytime. Well, that's not how that works.
No.
Okay? You know that better than everybody. So again, at the end of the day here, I mean, how would this thing look? Would it be more on Jalen? Would they throw the ball more? Would there be more RPOs? Obviously, the emphasis would have to go back to him. And then I would say, so you're going to rely on A.J. Dillon and Will Shipley and Jalen Hurts to carry the offense and the passing game? Boy, that's a lot.
Well, they would have to, though. I don't see being, they would have to go to that level. Now, I think they would probably want to rely more on the passing game. But Jalen and his ability to run and the RPOs would definitely have to be more of a factor. That's where they would have to go. Unless there's something else they got in that bag, to me, that's where they would have to go. And it really, you are putting more on Jalen Hurts, and you're asking him to really take his whole game to another level. Because I imagine, I said numerous times, I expect more out of the running game this year. I mean, not the running game, I mean the passing game.
Passing game.
Expect them to put more weight on the passing game, because these guys have been together so long, man. It's time for them to be able to do that, where they can just take over a game with their passing game. They should be able to do that. And I can tell I mean, Jalen looking good at practice and everything, but of course practice is practice. It's not real.
Yeah.
So you don't take it too serious.
I mean, like you said, I mean, quality reps is not OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
Quality reps, I mean, barely organized team activity is really quality reps. Yeah. I'm gonna throw something at you too here, Gary. So you think Jalen Hurts is on a Hall of Fame path right now?
Well, with the winning, you're winning championships. Yeah, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Right now, at this time in his career, with, at his pace he's on right now. What's that?
He's trending.
He's trending. That's right. Because he's been to the Super Bowl 2 times. He really played well in both of those. But because of the Super Bowls, yes, that's what gets him over. Not that he, is, like I said, great passing game, great passer and everything, but the combination, and he is part of that running game. Even last year with Barkley, his threat helps out Barkley because it freezes a guy. Freezing one of the guys on defense, they can't just take off, because there's a threat there with Jalen Hurts. So that's part of his game, is he is able to hurt you with his legs. And you see it plays in him. You got a good team. He will take off with the football and hurt you.
I'm gonna throw something at you here. Okay.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is 46-20 in his 4 years starting. He's got 13,000 passing yards, 85 TDs, 39 interceptions. He's won 2 NFC titles, a Super Bowl, and of course, Super Bowl MVP. And I'm going to throw this one at you. Some in here because we did this exercise earlier, but I wanted to hear your thoughts. I got another quarterback who's 46-18 in his first 4 years. He's won 2 NFC title games. He's won 1 Super Bowl. He's thrown for almost 14,000 yards. And he's got 106 TD passes versus Hurts' 85. And he's got 34 interceptions, 5 less than Hurts in his first 5 years in the league, first 4 years in the league. Do you know who that guy is that started out better than Jalen Hurts? That's Russell Wilson. So I asked Jason Cole last week if he thought Russell Wilson was a Hall of Famer. He goes, well, that's a debate. So how is Jalen Hurts a Hall of Famer? And that guy's had a better start to his career than what Jalen Hurts has. So are we jumping the gun? My point is, this. There's 371 guys who have made it to the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still got work to do, in your opinion.
He's still got work.
Brady had a 10-year gap between his Super Bowl III and Super Bowl IV. There was a 10-year gap. Mm-hmm. So a lot still to be written on whether or not this guy is going to put a Hall of Fame career together.
Correct. I think in similar to Russell Wilson, their defenses played a role in their success. The running games played a role in their success, and of course, the biggest thing they did was win. Because Russell Wilson wasn't where he's throwing for 300 yards a game. He wasn't playing like that. He was playing good football and everything. But I can't say though. His whole production has gone south though with Russell. See, that's why.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, he's played himself out of it.
Yeah.
And by the way, for a guy like Josh here, I'm taking his 4 years as a starter, not the first year, because if I were to do that with McNabb and with what's his name, 5 years, he's over 15,000. Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. So again, he's got to be consistent though, right?
Correct.
Is what the point is for him. You think he needs another one,
and should improve, and should improve though. So he should with the passing game, he should improve. That's what I expect. I expect him to do even better in the passing game because he's more comfortable with it. He's going to know what he's looking at more. He's going to be able to read defenses. At least this is what quote unquote assuming. But I'm expecting him to do even better in his passing game. Now, we didn't necessarily see that with Russell.
No, it's gone the other way.
Going the other way, okay. Correct.
Do you think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he's because he won. Won 2 Super Bowls.
The 2 Super Bowls.
I think 2 Super Bowls. Well, this has been pretty much it. If you win 2 Super Bowls, quarterback, you're in.
And MVP.
That's right. If you do that, you're in. That's pretty much the way they have. They've treated just about everybody, because I don't know anybody that has been an MVP, has won 2 of them, and is not a Hall of Famer.
But let me ask you this: if his last name was Eli Smith, does he get in?
And maybe
because of the Super Bowl MVPs, right?
Because of the Super Bowl MVPs, that's right.
Yep.
Because if you lead that team there and you win it, and you win the MVP is pretty much saying, okay, this is the key that gets you in, because there even have been people, who they haven't necessarily lit it up, but they won. And the big thing is winning. And And that's what Jalen has been able to do. He has been able to win. It's a winning culture he's around. So, but I think that, I expect him to raise his game, to raise his passing game. I expect him to raise that because you got some great people you're throwing the ball to. You got a tremendous offensive line. You got that run threat there. And I expect to see that improvement. I'd be disappointed if I don't expect to see that this year.
You think he's the greatest quarterback in Eagle history already?
That's tough to say that. I couldn't say that already.
More than McNabb. Or hell, even Randall.
Yeah, well, I think, he's done more when it comes to winning and everything. I think if he continues to play at this level and continues, to improve, I think that he's on his way there. Yes, I do think he's on that trajectory.
Two last questions for you.
But I tell you, boy, whew, some other people have gone south and they've gotten this close. But we'll see. I want to see improvement, though.
Gary, I would have said to you 10 years in with McNabb, I would have said he was a slam dunk Hall of Famer. In his last 3-4 years, he played himself out of it, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, with some of the teams he went and played with and everything. Yeah, you're right. I thought
he played himself out of that thing here. How do you feel about this? Two last questions here. Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt replacing Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham. How do you feel about those two guys replacing Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith?
Well, I like the, I think this is going to be a positive. I think it's going to be positive. I expect, and for the way things are going, I haven't seen a lot of Jalen Hunt. He hasn't played a great deal, So
you think he just needs reps?
I think, I think so. I mean, I see a potential. It seems like he's really from the way he looked out there at the camp and everything. It looks like he's getting more comfortable, and so I expect good things. And same thing with Smitty. I think we've already seen where he's going, and I see those guys where I think they are going to be able to step up. But they got to do it, man. And when you're taking more snaps and you're out there on the field more, then your productivity has got to increase. And I think we're going to find out, man. This is a time where would I be comfortable putting my neck all the way out for those guys right now? Yeah, I couldn't do that all the way. Say, oh well, I'm that confident, but I do expect it, but they got to go out and do it. We've seen that out of Smith, Smith, but Hunt, we haven't seen a lot of Hunt yet.
Yeah. Hey, I've got to ask you this, man. For me,
yeah,
these 5 weeks before you get to training camp. Now, you and I had to go to 3-a-days and 2-a-days and That's 3 months camp. Yep. So you tell me, this used to be the most frightening time for me because I would always be this. I'd be laying in bed, Gary. I'd look up, it's 11:30 at night, and I go, I don't know if I ran enough. I don't know if I'm in shape. Holy shit. There's somebody else out there that's like, I got to go out. And I would get up at 11:30 and I would just go run like 2 hours worth. It could be 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. I was just, you had to, because 12-minute run or the 16 110s, all that bullshit we had.
See, they don't have all of that. They don't have all of that anymore. They really don't push them like that. I look at them and they take care of them so much to where any little feeling they could go, all right, we're shutting you down. I felt a little bit in my hem, just a little bit. Man. Okay, hey, take this one off and everything. Hey, but everybody does it. I can't go like, well, look, man, you guys are so soft. But I times I just say, I don't even need to see this, because, a guy could become walking out and the wind blow on him a little bit. Oh, that wind blew on me a little bit. Okay, take this one off. You don't need to do anything today. It's just scary. It's just.
I did these 3-a-days with Ray Perkins. Check this out. So we would get up. We do our morning practice like at 7:30, right? We go from 3 hours.
Yeah.
10:30, right? You go and get a lunch, then you go back out. And we had a noon practice right in the middle of the day in Florida. And so you're out there and you're practicing for about an hour and a half. You're laying in the tents. They have oranges and popsicles. Remember that shit? Oranges and popsicles, right? You're laying there on your helmet. You got your crap off. There's fans there. You're kind of making sure your pads don't get, the worst thing in the world, tell me this wasn't. You're sitting there in training camp and the morning sweat drips on your face and your helmet and you're like this. Shit. Then you have to go in for lunch. You come back out and there's a nighttime practice. And I did that for 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months of that stuff.
But that wasn't really unusual. See, it wasn't, it's not like now where you go, man, we really had to work. The guys now, man, if they only knew.
How many practices do you think they're in full gear now these days? How many? I mean, do they even practice a month?
You know what? I couldn't even say it's a month, and for them to be in full gear and everything, because, quickly, somebody could look at somebody hard. Oh, let's get off get that equipment off, man. These guys, but they got the ring, what can you say? They keep their guys
never
healthy.
Get hurt.
They
never get hurt.
They don't get hurt very much. That's right. They have cut down on the injuries without a doubt because, you got guys with the hamstrings and different things like that. Man, if they think that guy's getting tight a little bit, hey, we're shutting you down, everything. It's a different world, man. It's a different world.
It's a good thing, though, isn't it?
It is good. It's a good thing, yeah, because you cut down on the injuries and everything. But they used to say, hey, boy, get out there. They don't want to. They didn't want to hear it, man. Come on, hey, save all that crying. Let's go. Let's get started.
Hey, man, I posted some pictures in training camp, and I mean those camps were like 90 humidity and 99 degrees. And
yeah, that's right.
It's just, I mean, again, like you said, you showed up, you were a fat body. By the time you left, you had lost 30 pounds, and you were on IV.
Yeah, right. A lot of guys would do like that. Yeah, our big guys, a lot of them would do like that, which is they come in, man, and they I'm getting in shape now.
What was your toughest training camp?
The toughest, buddy,
in Detroit, man.
Buddy Ryan, man.
Really,
Buddy Ryan, man. Because he was driving guys off. He wanted to see who's tough enough to play.
Tougher than Jimmy's.
It was like that. Yeah, it was.
He was trying to run you out of there?
He was trying to run people out of there. That's right. And we had veteran guys, I'm going like, where you going, man? Dude throwing stuff down. He's leaving, man. I'm going,
where you go? Where you leaving?
Dude, where you going? Man, what about the house, man? You got to make those house payments, man.
Hey.
Where are you going?
Hey,
dude, I quit.
Quit?
Quit. Man, what?
Yeah. Hey, you know what I would always say? I would always say this: when that guy ain't married, I'll tell you that. There's no way.
That's right. Come on. Quit. I ain't going nowhere. So
hey, man.
Quit, man.
Quit.
What?
Quit
man,
what?
You better get out of here, man.
Hey, quit what? G Cobb, always great catching up, my friend.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, you have a go.
Got it. You got it. Yeah, quit what? That's what me and him would say. Quit what? You ain't quitting, man. Holy cow. You see a guy, you'd see, we called the midnight, what were those guys? The midnight paraders. You'd see these guys, there'd be guys leaving in the middle of the night. They'd get their shit and they would leave. And you see guys like just leaving. And I remember walking out once. I'm like, where you going? He goes, I can't do it. I'm like, hey, dude, this ain't a place they take you back. He's like, I can't do it. I'm like, listen here, man. If I were you, I'd go back and lay down and think about it here. And the guy's like, he goes, oh, He go back. The guy goes back in. He's out there practicing, and sure enough, he didn't end up making the team. Dude, I'm telling you. Let's see here. Come on, Sills. D and O-line never get respected and recognized. Only on Tuesdays, senor. On direct deposit day, do they get respected. I don't need someone patting me on the back. I need direct deposits. I can only imagine what Buddy would say to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis would not be on a Buddy Ryan team. No fat guys allowed with that guy. It's not what he did. Dude, I'll give you a camp with him. We're in training camp. He came down the year he got the job in 86. He spent 2 weeks with us. And you guys it was right before you guys went and had his first training camp. So he comes down to Miami, and he was like a consultant on our staff. He wanted to watch what Jimmy was doing. And man, he'd come into our D-line meetings, and Butch led him, which was cool. I've told you guys this. And Buddy's in there. Hey, 93. Never called me my name. Hey, 93. Get your head out of your ass. Look, you're looking up. You're looking around. I said, and I had 10 tackles in this game. And he'd go, hey, 93. Stay in the technique. Finally, I'm just sitting there, and he's another one of those guys that would say this shit. I said, man, Jesus criminy. Everything was 93. He looked at me and he goes, hey, worry when I'm not calling your number. Jimmy looked over at me and said, what'd I tell you? And he's like, I'm like, shit. Another guy with that. If those coaches back then were talking to you, you were lucky. If they weren't talking to you, you were worried. Okay? That's what they and how they commanded the respect. You wanted Buddy talking. Buddy would take us, me and Jerome, and he would take us and do individual drills. Because, again, you got to remember, the 46 is based off the 2 tackles and the safety. 46 was Fensick. So our safety, that's why we had Benny Blades. And Benny Blades was a guy that was a really great player. And our safety had to play. And he had to play like Gary Fensick. And so we had a 46 version because Buddy instilled it. We were number 1. The 2 years I played there, we were number 1 defensively in the country. Gave up the least amount of points because of what Buddy, it was really a new style of 43. That guy was a tough-ass coach. Then he came down in 87, and he goes, Sileo. I was like, holy shit, I graduated. Year previous, I was 8, now I was 93. Go, Sileo, come here. Because great season. You had 100 tackles, I see. I go, yeah. I did what you told me. I played in the technique. He goes, yeah. Jerome's sitting right next to me. He goes, yeah, and you outplayed the fat ass. They ended up drafting Jerome 9th. He did. Jerome's sitting there, and he goes, you outplayed this fat ass. Jerome's like, come on now, man. And I'm like, yeah, I may have outplayed him for the whole year, but nobody played like JB. That guy was just a wrecking ball. If you had to play next to Jerome Brown, you had to play next to him. I mean, Jalen Carter. I never saw Jalen Carter wreck a college game or a pro game yet like Jerome. Jerome could wreck a game. Now, he did have Reggie. And Jalen doesn't have Reggie or anybody like that on the D-line. There's no Jerome Brown or Reggie White. Jalen Carter's probably a lot like Jerome. There's no Reggie White. So Jerome had the ability, and Clyde, right, Yale, and Clyde. Mike Pitts was good. Okay, Mike Pitts could play. He was a technician guy. I really liked Mike Pitts. God rest his soul, too. Mike Pitts, man, I can't believe it. Jerome Brown, Mike Pitts, and Reggie are dead off that D-line team. That Philly gangrene. Wow. Right. Reggie, Mike Pitts, and Jerome are dead off that D-line. Yeah, man. He's still now. Jalen plays a lot like Jerome did. He's a little loose in the techniques. I told Clint Hurt that. He's got to play a little better, shade better. He's got great hands though. Runs around blocks too much. He would. Do you know how more impactful he'll be if he plays in the scheme? He'll be better if he just knew what he was doing. New rules, different times. Pittsburgh was a beast too. During the mid-'80s, yeah, Pittsburgh was good. They were good defensively up front. The best fronts were in Chicago, Philly, San Francisco. If I had to rank in the 80s during Philly, Buddy Ryan, probably Chicago. No, Philly had the best D-line. Oh my God, yeah, New York. Washington, too. Washington had a great D-line. Dexter Manley was on that team, and the other guy on the other side. And the guys in the middle. Saints, too. Absolutely, Saints had a good front. Yeah, you had Carson, Banks, Reason, Taylor, Marshall, Bill Neal. Yeah. And you had, what was the D lineman's name from LSU? He was there too. And you had Doug Martin. Doug Martin was there. Wow. Who would have had the best D line? Sack Exchange was great. Sack Exchange was a little before my time. I think they ran out of gas in 85. So I got in the league in 87. So if I had to, boy, the best defenses, Philly, Chicago, New York. Man, wow. They were great. The 49ers were great. The Rams were decent. Man, Philly's right there. You had Reggie and Jerome and Simmons and Pitts. And you had in Chicago, Hampton. I think Philly was better because I don't think the Fridge was better than Mike Pitts. He was good, but not Mike Pitts. And Jerome was in there. Clyde Simmons, man, he could play. I think he's 136. Man, I forgot about Minnesota. Keith Millard was a great football player. I think he won the Defensive Player of the Year. I had forgotten about Keith Millard. He played during my time. Hey, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Keith Millard won the Defensive Player of the Year award. He was good. Purple People Eaters were before my time. That was like in the 70s. I played, that was in the early 70s. I played in the late 80s. Bills were good. Bills were good too. They had Darryl Talley and Biscuit on the other side. They were outstanding. Yeah, Banks, Taylor, Reasons, best linebacking core. They were better than Philly at the linebacker, but Philly was better in the D line. Chicago probably was the best unit. Now, you got to remember, the secondary was probably in San Francisco with Ronnie Lott and them dudes. God, man, there were so many great defenses. But you got to remember something. Back in the late 80s, you could keep those teams together because there were no free agency. Okay, I mean, you couldn't move around. You couldn't move and move around like you did. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Hey, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. Guys, number one reason that Morgan & Morgan is number one is why? Because they win. Our great friend John Morgan and his wife Ultima have built the ultimate injury insurance company when it comes to going after insurance companies, number one law firm in the entire country when it comes to injury law firms is Morgan & Morgan. I told you about the family in Pennsylvania now. I found out a little more of an update. They got over $30 million, and the insurance company wanted to come in with $650K. No way. They ended up getting them over $30 million in recovery. Down in Florida, company came in with $350K, an insurance company. They ended up getting nearly $15 million. Family run, family owned, family thought of when it comes to Morgan & Morgan. You'll never make a poor decision. And remember something, they don't get paid unless you win. So make sure you do me a favor. You check out Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529, and do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Great stuff as always. You guys are awesome. Weeks out. We are now getting ready for the upcoming NFL year. I can't wait. I mean, September 4th is right here. July 21, 22, somewhere near for the Eagles. Most teams are going to report around July 27th. Let me reset something. So tonight is the NBA Game 5. Here, let me check. I'm going to show you how pathetic that is. I'm also take a shot here at Stephen A. Smith. So here, I think tonight is Game 5. Am I right? Here I have to look because I'm not sure when they're playing. Okay? Yeah, tonight's game 5. I have no interest in this thing. Why? Because it's not compelling. It's just not compelling. So let me get this right. So Stephen A. Smith is starting a bitching match with Tyrese Halliburton. Not that you guys even know who the hell that is or give a shit who it is. So he's starting a fight with the guy. And I'm like, how is that pregame? Hey, you better not start anything with me. Other better people have tried. I'm like, bro, no one cares about you. This is what makes the TNT guys. ESPN will pollute that, and hopefully they don't put that lunatic anywhere near. He's not a good NBA guy. He's pretty good in his role on First Take. But when it comes to covering the NBA, bro, stop making shit about you. He does what I do. I make everything about me. I'm not an analyst. And when I do analyze the game, it's a different role for me. Like when I do the post-game show or the pre-game show for JAKIB here, I do it completely different than I do my show. Because you're talking about the upcoming game. I'm not giving you my takes or this and that. I'm giving you what I think may happen in the ball game. My show for that my show's for that shit. So like when you're talking about a game against the Cowboys, hey, Cowboys have to stop the run. They got to stop Saquon Barkley. They're sitting around talking about, hey, the Cowboys, man, not making a move to go out and get Barkley. That's my show. So he's not good. I have never heard I'm going to say it one more time. That guy's the greatest DEI hire of all time. I mean, Pat McAfee blows him away. I mean, Stephen A. Smith is a DEI hire. There is no other way to look at it. He's never succeeded outside of First Take. I don't understand it. Pat is compelling. He has great guests. I'm trying to think of somebody who is a great analyst who's a black guy. It's Barkley. Barkley could go on the NFL and be an analyst and talk football, and I would listen. You know why? He's funny. He's great. He's got great opinions. Barkley is the best. He is the best. I enjoyed listening to him. I actually think the guy who does tennis, Patrick I think John McEnroe's great. I love compelling people. I really do. Let me tell you what, my wife turned me on to Charles Barkley. She was dead on. She said, this guy is going to be great. You know who got him in? Dick Ebersol got him in to broadcasting. Isn't that crazy? Dick Ebersol got him in. But I love it when Barkley talks hockey. Dude, telling you, Charles Barkley. Oh, so you guys know, the attitude and the personality that Charles Barkley has? That's how Jerome was. Jerome had that exact kind of personality, like Charles Barkley. He was exactly that. So, I mean, then he's sitting there screaming at Kendrick Perkins, and I'm like, this is dumb. It's the lowest rated. How in the world can a chick be the most popular basketball player in America right now? And it's not a dude. That's embarrassing. The most popular basketball player in America is a woman. It's Caitlyn Clark. I get these notifications that she's playing. The Indiana Fever are more popular when she's playing than a team that's playing for the championship in the Indiana Pacers. How's that possible? Because it's compelling. They're needle movers. Caitlyn Clark is like Tiger. And get this, she's playing in the most racist league going. Black chicks hate her because she's white. But that sells. That is fantastic. It's petty, but it sells. Because white America is complaining about the African-American athletes in the sport bitching about a white chick. Great. Does it make money? Is it compelling? Does it attract white eyeballs? Yes. Great. That's great. You guys are like, wait a minute, Sills. Are you saying that the black chicks? Yes. So what? Jealousy's good thing. Are you trying to tell me you don't think that white golfers hated Tiger? That all the publicity he was getting? And he was good? Sold? And TV ratings? Of course it did. Half the country wanted Tiger to fail. The other half wanted him to succeed. Tiger was appealing to both. Yeah. Then you put Doris Burke's ass on there. Why? Oh, I know. Because of Disney. I mean, everything that is wrong in sports, ESPN and Disney have it on display. You put a chick in the broadcast booth. Not that I have a problem with it, but it's evident what you're doing. It's not genuine. I mean, they've oversold it. Can you imagine this? And I said this to you guys last week. So, only time I ever hear small market bullshit is when it's NBA and Major League Baseball. I'll get to baseball in a minute here. And you're like, wait a minute. With all the crap that went on this past week, and I'm not getting into it. Our men and women, awesome. You know, those are our sons and daughters that participate in the military. I'm not even talking about Trump. I'm talking about our men and women who fight in this country. And you guys can pick that fight with someone else. I thought seeing the men and women in our country, that's great. I'm always on Team USA. It's the greatest team in the United States, is that team. So whatever you think, I don't give a shit. That's the best team on the planet is our military. And I posted all the people with, how many generals have I been with? 7? I posted like 7 on them. All the generals I've been with. General Dempsey, General Scott Mitchell, who's head of NATO. That picture with me and Scott Mitchell is a head of NATO. And he's right now in the Carl Vinson. And he's a dear friend of mine. So, I mean, yeah, he's the one on the Carl Vinson. And he's been friends with me for a long time. I posted it on my X account. Now, that guy is one of the most hunted men next to Trump, is General Scott Mitchell. Okay? I mean, I love that guy. So, yeah, I mean, seeing the military. But at the end of the day here, man, you know, I don't want to hear any of that bullshit. I really don't, politics. You come here to get away from all that stupid shit. And to see Disney and how they act with their political angling, that's why nobody's watching. The thing with baseball. So the Mets thought it was cool to play and put up the pride flag on over the weekend with the 250th anniversary of the Army. And so during the national anthem, they're playing, they're putting up the pride flag instead of the United States of America flag where the Mets play, Citibank. Sure, probably went far. Or about the Dodgers? I am completely convinced Major League Baseball hates Americans. I am 100% convinced they hate Americans. You heard me right. So then out in Los Angeles, you had somebody who was, the Dodgers begged not to sing the national anthem in Spanish because the riots that are going on, the ICE raids and all. She didn't give a shit. In a place like Chavez Ravine, who she had no history of knowledge of how important Chavez Ravine is, she just totally blew off the Dodgers and sang the national anthem in Spanish instead of just being like an American. And she did it because it was a political statement. Dodgers are furious. So I give the Dodgers a small pass on that. And you're like, I'm convinced. And then you move a couple years ago, you move the All-Star game out of Atlanta because you didn't like Trump on the year that Henry Aaron died. And you move it to a tougher state in Colorado with tougher voting laws. And you didn't give a shit because you didn't do your homework. Some of these sports teams and leagues need to get their shit together. That's why the NFL is lapping you. They're lapping you because they are staying the hell away from that. I mean, dude, I'm not telling you you shouldn't do whatever you want. That's not my call. It's totally not. I'll never tell a person how to vote, take vaccinations. That is so over my pay grade. So over my pay grade. But shit, man. Seriously, right? I am completely convinced that Major League Baseball doesn't give a shit about you. And that's why people don't like those leagues, NBA, Major League Baseball, because they don't want to be lectured to. And I'm trying not to. I'm just making as a sports fan, my take on it. I just want to watch sports, be entertained, not be lectured to by some idiot who thinks they know better, like Mina Kimes. She is the biggest loser going. That whole group of ESPN people like Sarah Spain and Mina Kimes are losers. I mean, bro, where are you going? Standing up for dudes beating the fuck out of women is not a position or a platform to stand on. It's not a position. It's a losing proposition. You got killed in November because of that. Man, you just don't. You sit watching, you watch people self-sabotage themselves. You're just watching, you're like, man, what do you know? Do you really know something that the other Americans don't know? Man. Again, am I being hard? Yeah. I'm sick of it. Get this. Do you know why? Think about that for a minute. The NBA didn't play Game 5 on a Sunday on Father's Day because they were afraid of getting their shit kicked in by golf. I've never seen a sport duck another sport like golf, guys in slacks. When is the NBA took a knee and played it on a Monday, a work night instead of a Sunday on Father's Day? Man, if that were the NFL Father's Day, you could have played Carolina versus the Jets, and that thing would have done $40 million. You never hear small market being talked about in the NFL. You know why? Because when they saw those people kneeling and they saw all that other shit going on, they've even taken the thing, end racism, out of the end zones. League said this, advertisers complaining, American sports fans were complaining. You know the only people that were complaining about the kneeling? was the media. Americans wanted it gone. The media was trying to tell you that, wait a minute, it's everyone's right to take a knee. NFL said, no, it's not. You can't take a knee in the middle of somebody's business if you work for somebody. You think you have free speech? Yeah, you do in the street. Not in my office, you don't. That's what the NFL said. Hey, you want to have free speech? You're fired. You're fired. There's your free speech. Go ahead. You got all the free speech you want now. You got a lot of time, too. These are the type of conversation no one wants to have but needs to be heard. Great stuff, Big Cells. Oh, this is why people are afraid of my show. Devin, do you think I talk like this in Tampa? No way. No way. That's why this is the most and last place you get conversation like this. Okay? I'm protected here. Like Xander told me, hey, man, do this until I'm dead. And I will. This is home. What you think because I'm doing something in Tampa? Yeah, no, look, I like it. I love this. Okay? Soon. Yeah, well, hey, Denny, I'd love to move to Philly. I'll be up there more. But I can't pay the taxes there. Pennsylvania? New Jersey? Shit, where my aunt lives, a tree hut costs $300,000 in New Canaan, Connecticut. I can't live there. Are you nuts? Right? Don't move to Philly. Move to Florida. Give yourself a... That's right. My aunt tells me every day, hey, yeah, you're broke now. You move to Florida, you'd be a billionaire. I got it. It's no question. Absolutely. Hey, you guys, most of you know this, what I'm saying to you. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I mean, I don't really. I love how we have Republicans and Democrats in here and how we all get a chance to chop it up here. I really do. Dude, I am not one of those people that if you're a Democrat, I'm not friends with you. I don't subscribe to that behavior and belief. Like if you love Trump, I don't hate you. And if you hate Trump, I don't hate you. That's your own it's like religion. If you want to believe in Catholicism or you want to believe in Judaism, what the hell does that have to do with me? What's that have to do with me? Nothing. It's a personal choice you make when you're God. You want to be a Baptist, Lutheran, all that. I don't care. How's that got anything to do with me? Trump's this, Trump's that. Okay, well, that's your opinion. See, I think what people always get the notion of is that I support the ability to have your own choice, to make your own will and your own thinking process, whatever that is. I will not be a follower. I hate followers. You hear something about somebody and you assume he's an asshole because 10 people said it. Well, I don't subscribe to that. I mean, forming an opinion on somebody by others forming that opinion, it's like hearing the lie. Guy in Nazi Germany did that. Keep telling the lie enough, you believe it. It's because you're stupid. Crazy. Like, again, the NBA is frustrating to watch. This is what you do with the NBA. Like if you tune on that bullshit tonight, you'll tune it on and then you'll hear Stephen A. Smith screaming and bitching about something that's all about him. Hey, did you see him playing solitary there too during the game? You think that guy gives a shit about what he's doing? You see somebody over the shoulder caught him playing solitary, like during the second quarter or something. And he was playing solitary because he was so bored with the game going on itself. And then he got on the cameras and pretended that he cared and gave a shit. It's acting. It's not genuine. I posted that picture. It's funny as shit. The guy playing solitary during the NBA Finals. What was it? Game 4, right? Tying it up. Your head analyst guy and the highest paid guy at ESPN is playing solitary on his phone. He don't give a shit. Man, I'll tell you what, you're paying me $20 million. You're getting $20 million worth of my effort. Shit, if you pay me $20, you'll get $20 million worth of my effort. Hey, yeah, sure. Understood. That's your opinion. Okay? Totally. I have my opinion. You have yours. And I respect your opinion, though. Problem is, people don't respect the other people's opinions today when it comes to that shit. Somebody hates Trump. I respect your opinion. If somebody says, I love Trump, you don't respect that person's opinion. We lost that somewhere. I mean, there's no fine line any longer. That space line. Everyone's in your world now because of social media. I'm like, well, I still have a dividing line. I'm here, you're there. My family's here, you're over here when it comes to that shit. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith screamed you for about an hour and a half on the pregame tonight, telling you how Halliburton and him are in a fight. You know how many people know who Tyrese Halliburton is? Nobody. Nobody knows who Tyrese Halliburton is. Unless you're a P1. That's a hardcore sports fan. Nobody knows who he is. I'm like, okay. You got Caitlyn Clark. Kudos to her, man. Oh, and by the way, there's another thing tonight. Shohei Ohtani is going to be on the hill for an inning or two. I'm going to watch it. What's going to go on the same time as the NBA? Great. I don't care. NBA Finals. I'll tune it on when I tune it on. So I'm going to watch Ohtani. I think it's the first time he's going to pitch in 18 months. Why? Because that guy's a world figure and he's a great athlete and he's polarizing. That's why. What about Tyrese Halliburton and SGA? Who's SGA? It sounds like a venereal disease. Who's SGA? Boy, I don't. Hey, Yale, I must sound like, oh man, get off my lawn when I talk about Bird and Magic and Michael Jordan and how fun it was to watch the NBA. I really must sound like an old guy. I just like to be entertained. Get this. He is. He's a great player. That's not good enough. That's not good enough in today's sports world. There's got to be a hook. There's a hook. This is what broadcasting is today. There's a hook and a catch. Caitlyn Clark is great, and she's white. End of story. Get this. When you're in the minority, nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. I'd rather watch Antonio Brown strip nude at the Jets-Bucks game than watch the NBA Finals. That's my kind of entertainment. Man, look at that guy. He's a lunatic. I'd rather watch NASCAR wrecks than that thing. I just appreciate the game. I get it. You're a P1. I call you, you're a hardcore sports fan. But how you make a ton of money is P3s, the casual fan. I mean, I watch Caitlyn now. I've never watched women's sports in my life. Oh, by the way, real quick, then we'll go on to AJ Brown here in a minute. You know, I think the dudes and the guys with cannolis and chick sports, I'm starting to think it's helped women's sports. I don't know. I guess good or bad pub is good pub because you're putting more eyeballs on women's sports now. Softball's up. Softball's up. WNBA's up. Women's soccer's through the roof. It's compelling. So I don't know. You know, the story of a guy beating the shit out of a woman in the Olympics. I don't know. Maybe it's helped ratings. I don't know. And you got idiots like Sarah Spain and these other guys promoting that, you know, chicks with cannolis should be in women's sports. I don't know. Maybe it's helped. You know, those are the people that fight for women to have a choice at birth. And yet you go, hey, it's okay if a guy beats him up, though, in an Olympic match. Hey, I want you to be able to choose what, you know, I want you to be able to be pro-choice. But hey, if a guy beats the shit out of you in the ring in the Olympics, I'm in there. You can do that. It's all good. You can beat her up, but she has to have pro-choice when it comes to birth. What? I mean, okay. I guess. I don't know. How can you be so strung out on polar opposite topics? It makes no sense. Then again, what does? All right. What kind of year do you guys think AJ Brown had a year ago? What kind of year do you think he had? A, B, C, or D? What kind of year do you think AJ Brown had a year ago? What do you think? B. Okay. You had a B year, right? B. Charlie says a great year. Couple more. What kind of year did AJ Brown have? I did a deep dive into this. B, room for improvement. A, he caught what was thrown to him. By the way, SC Bird fan, is it true he didn't have one drop this year? A plus. Made the best of his opportunities. I think he didn't drop. I don't think he had a drop a year ago, did he? I got some numbers here. You know, it's funny when you go over his production and you look. Okay, he may have Lamar, but I don't think in the regular season he had a drop. A, without question. All right, here's where I'm going. So he was 14th in yards. He has a target rate of 34.28 a year ago, which is second in the league to Puka Nacua. He was the second most targeted player in the regular season with no drops. Okay, so when you threw the ball to him, he's impossible to defend. Is that right? Is that right? He didn't drop. He missed games. But when he was in the game, he was the most targeted guy in the league just about. Is that right? That makes you undefendable. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't defend him. So they know I'm throwing him the ball more than anyone. He doesn't drop anything. And the numbers are down because he missed ball games. Let me continue. Since 2019, here are the most targeted or guys with the most 100-yard games. Jefferson, 34, 382 targets. Devontae Adams, 34 games of 100 yards or more, 443 targets. Cooper Kupp, 31 100-yard games. This is since 2019. 383 targets. A.J. Brown's next with 30 100-yard games and 291 targets. He is the most undefendable receiver in the game. And here's what tops it off even more. He knocks you out in the run game. I'm going to change my opinion here. He is better than Jefferson. So he doesn't drop the ball. Last year, he's the second most targeted guy. He's got 30 100-yard games since 2019 with the least amount of targets. And it just so happens he blocked for Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Hey, Texas boy, I don't see that stiff CeeDee Lamb on here. CeeDee Lamb would never block for Saquon Barkley. That's not Princess's role. No way. The guy in Dallas, he's a poser compared to that. He's a poser. Has no impact on his run game or the passing game like that guy does. And you know you're going to him. I did not think Barkley doesn't get $2,000 without AJ's the best receiver in the game. AJ, Jefferson, Chase are your top three dudes. Get this. CeeDee has better numbers than AJ last year. Great. Congratulations. Wonderful. Excellent. CeeDee also helped. Wait a minute. AJ also helped his buddy get $2,000. You know what you ended up getting? Ricky Ricardo killed. DeJean clamped up Lamp in the press conference. Dude, hey, Texas guy. CeeDee Lamb had catches a year ago. This is not close. It's who would ever put CeeDee Lamb on their team if I had Saquon Barkley? CeeDee Lamb would never block for him. The offense would never be in the same position. Shit, Devontae Smith blocks better than Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is overrated. Here, top receivers. He's overrated, just like your quarterback. The pass catch, get this. You want to hear something, guys? Texas guy doesn't want to hear this. Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman. That's a winning combination. Dak and CeeDee Lamb is a loser combination. What am I winning? Admiration? I'm climbing the Dallas Cowboy list on all-time receptions. Get this. Actually, Dallas has 3 of the most overrated players that are the highest paid players. The quarterback, soon to be the edge rusher, and the receiver are the most overrated guys in the league for the money that they're making. How's that not reality? The 3 most overrated players at their respected positions. Better numbers because the guy plays in the wormy slot versus lesser talented people. He plays against safeties and linebackers, which the league is not filled with. AJ plays against the top and the most talented athlete on the field at corner. Texas boy, CeeDee Lamb is overrated. The more you dive into this guy, you freaking know you're going to him. You know you're going there. He doesn't drop the ball. Oh, and by the way, if the ball doesn't go to him, he's knocking Cowboys out in the run game. You know what CeeDee's doing? He's posing. Cowboy fans over here, media, I'm over here. Then what he does is he talks shit on Q. And then you know what he is? He's down in Cancun watching the Eagles win the Super Bowl. CeeDee Lamb spends his offseason in Cancun. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith spend their time at Lincoln Financial. CeeDee's in Cancun, down in Galveston, like Barkley says, with that dirty water. Hanging out down there. That's where he is. Hey, how you doing, man? Where's CeeDee Lamb? Hey, I heard he's down in Cancun. Yeah, I heard he's down in Cancun. Doing what? Well, he's not playing. You know he's not playing. Yeah. So wait a minute. Let me get this right. $60 million with Dak. 36 with CD. There's 96. And you got 40 coming up with Micah Parsons. You got 100. Get this, folks. Tell Texas boy this. You got 136 of your $1 million of your $275 million or $280 million salary cap lined up in 3 dudes who can't do shit. Tough way to make a living. Not winning. Get this. Hold on here. The Eagles have a hard time against CD. Now Pickens on the team. Who Pickens? Holy shit. I'm sure the Eagles are sitting there going, not George Pickens. Holy shit. George Pickens. You got to be kidding me. Do you mean the George Pickens? No way. George fucking Pickens. Did you hear Texas boy? I got to get this. Hold on. I'm rocking the boat here. There you go. Hang on. George Pickens? That dude? No way. Holy shit. I can't believe George Pickens. Hey, Stills. Now you got George Pickens. Oh, shit. Wow. Holy cow. I'll sleep with one eye open. George Pickens. Holy shit. I'm sure Quinyon Mitchell's going, not George Pickens. Yeah, that's George Pickens. George Pickens? The kid from Georgia? Yeah, him. The guy who got ran out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, that guy. Still's talking like the Eagles corners top 5. Shit, you had a rookie a year ago, and you had a 40-year-old corner last year. Didn't make any difference, did it? Seriously, man, you had a guy who gets the Grand Slam meal now at Denny's, and Darius Slay playing corner, and you had a rookie on the other side. Boy, I tell you, you're right. Hey, Texas guy, they didn't need top 5 corners. They had a guy who gets the Grand Slam. Hey, can I get the Grand Slam? I got my AARP card. You know, it's supposed to take $1.75 off it. Trust me, I know. You know, it takes $1.75 off that bitch. So we're taking the Grand Slam. I love the Grand Slam, too. By the way, I like Eggs Benedict, too. It's all good. But can you do this for me? Still's talking like the Eagles have top 5 corners. No, they had an old guy and a rookie. Kick the doorknobs off you. God forbid if they did. I mean, if the Eagles did have a top 5 cornerback set, my God. Still's talking like the Eagles have top 5. They don't need it. Shit, they're going to stick a Dory Jackson's ass out there and cover you with George Pickens. Holy shit, am I nervous. Man, George Pickens? I mean, hey, have you ever seen George Pickens run a route? George Pickens runs a route like Jalen Reagor. Precise in practice. When he gets into a game, I don't know. They break him off at the 11-yard line instead of the 15. I don't know. Eagles beat the Cowboys when they didn't have Dak, who can't beat Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. Hey, Texas guy, that's not an Eagle problem that your boys hurt all the time. That's not the Eagles' problem that your guys always hurt. And he didn't show up. I love when people make this argument. Well, you know, the Eagles beat the Cowboys when Dak wasn't out there. Well, how's that an Eagle problem? How is that an Eagle problem? Well, you know, we didn't. Hey, I say the same shit about the Eagles when they played the Bucks, and the Bucks tore them a new one. You don't get any latitude. It's part of the game. Well, we didn't have AJ and, Devontae or Lane. That's not a Buck problem. That's an Eagle problem. The war of attrition is part of the conversation. I'm sick of Cowboy guy. I will not lie. It's dumb. You're not relevant. You know, the only thing that's relevant is your gear. It's your gear. Cowboys have the best gear. They sell a lot of stuff. Got a great stadium. All the shit that doesn't matter. Do you have good players? No. Do you have a good coach? No. Do you have a good anything? No. Here's where you start with Philly. How's your roster? Great. How's your quarterback? Winning. How's your defense? Great. How's your O-line? Best ever. I don't even talk about Lincoln Financial yet. The Cowboys start with Jerry's World and your helmet. How's that relevant? It's the same. Boy, I tell you, if you're covering the Cowboys now, you're just talking about the same shit over and over. I don't know, maybe we'll be good this year. Maybe we'll be good. It's like Groundhog Day. Just like Groundhog Day. Hey, Sills, do you think the Cowboys will win? No. How many games do you think they win? 7? Do you think they can stop the run? No. Do you think they can run the ball? No. What do you make of Dak? I don't know. He's like, I don't know. He's him and Kirk Cousins. The one guy's black, one guy's white. I don't know. They look like the same guy to me. There's really not any difference. It's the same shit. Somehow the Cowboys head-to-head. Listen, somehow the Bucs head-to-head. It lately has been beating the Eagles. But head-to-head in the playoffs, Hurts is 6-3. Do you realize this? Hey, Texas guy, do you know between Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, you guys, how many years has Tony Romo played? I want to show you guys something. I want to double check this. Tony Romo. I can't even believe I'm on this rant. Tony Romo played 13 years. Dak's going into his 10th. So in 23 years, let me get this right. 23 years. Hang on for a second. Okay. How many postseason wins does Dak Prescott have in the NFL? 2. How many postseason wins does Tony Romo have in the postseason? 2. So you're telling me in 23 years between Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, you have 4 postseason wins in 23 years. And Jalen Hurts in 4 years has 6. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Dude. So Jalen has 6 postseason wins in 4 years of starting. And you have 4 postseason wins in 23 years with Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. Is that right? I don't know what you're debating. I mean, 23 years, 4 wins. Jesus criminy. I'm surprised Mark Holmes comes on this show. I really am. I mean, hey, here, let me help you up here, Texas boy. You know, at the holidays, okay, you have like big boy table, like the big family table, like your grandpa, your mom. You guys sit over at the little kiddie table with like the sippy cups and shit. You know, you have the sippy cups, the high chairs, and you sit over there and you look at little Texas boy over there. He's got a really cool looking sippy cup, and he's got the Texas state flag on it. You know, it's funny. Hey, Texas boy, you know how they say everything is big in Texas? It sure ain't your postseason record. It ain't big. I mean, there's Texas boy sitting over there at the kiddie table. And look at him. He's even using a bib. Sales Jalen Hurts like Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, who happened to win a Super Bowl. He's nothing special. Hey, you know what? All that guy's going to keep saying is this. Hey, you're right. I'm nobody special. I'm 6-3 in the postseason. I've won an NFC championship twice. I'm the Super Bowl MVP, and I've won a Super Bowl. I don't know about you, but that's a hell of a nothing. Hey, if that's nothing, can I be that all day? Holy shit. Texas boy goes, he's nothing special. Hey, shit, if nothing special, wait a minute. If Hurts is nothing special with 2 NFC titles, a Super Bowl MVP, and a Super Bowl win, what in the fuck is Dak Prescott? Nothing? I'll take the special off. I mean, you know what Dak Prescott is? Dak Prescott, Texas boy, is one of those guys that works at one of those stupid New Jersey gas stations where I can't pump my own gas, and he's got white gloves on. That's who that guy is. I never got that. Every time I go to Jersey, someone's got to pump my gas. I'm not allowed to pump my gas. That's who Dak Prescott is. That's the guy who, like, if you go to Jersey, anybody who knows Jersey, okay, knows that you can't pump your own gas on the Parkway. You can't. I mean, on the New Jersey Turnpike, you can't. I don't know what that is. It's been that way my whole life. I get out of my car once. I'm trying to. Guy goes, no. I'm like, what? No. He goes like this. Yeah, no, I get it. It's the law. I was told it by some dude like from one of the gas stations. Excuse me, sir. You're in Jersey. Okay? You can't pump your gas here. Come again? You can't pump, yeah. This is when I was a kid. What do you mean I can't pump my gas? Well, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, you put the gas thing in the car, you pull the fucking thing, and here we go. No. Not in Jersey. We pump the gas here on the turnpike. You know that, right? Look, I'm just trying to get to a Roy Rogers. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to get to Roy Rogers, and I'm trying to get to Lombardi's place. You know, the stop where Lombardi is. I forget the exit. And I want to get to Roy Rogers. I like Roy Rogers. Okay, give me a break. That Route 20. Look at this, right? Route 22. Trying to get to Route 22. I want to stop at Lombardi's. They got a Roy Rogers at the place. Do you mind? No, we got to pump your gas for you. I got into an argument over it. I did. Come on, Sills. Jalen's asked to throw the ball. That's not a Jalen thing. Build your team better. DFW. Come on, dude. Build your team better. Build your team better. How's that not? Jalen is asked not to be a hero every week. That's why they're winning so much. You guys think, and when I say it, you guys think that's a rip. It's the greatest luxury in the league. Jalen can play below average in the Green Bay game or the Ram game and get away with it. That can't. So that's an organizational thing. That's not a Hurts thing. Well, Jalen doesn't have to be special. Okay? Your guy does and can't. Jalen could throw 2 picks in a playoff game, Texas boy, and still win the game. That throws 3 picks. You're getting beat by 40. There lies the difference in the two teams. Oh, get this. Here. Okay. You're not saying nothing wrong. Nobody's disagreeing. I'm not sure what you want. Well, he doesn't have to be great. Okay. You know, he's only asked to throw the ball 25 times. Okay. I mean, great. Less turnovers. Okay. Roy Rogers, I see, is a big hit. I like that. Great way to start the week, guys. I so appreciate you dudes and gals. You too, Texas boy, and all you Texas guys. I appreciate it. Great rivalry going to come up September 4th. I appreciate all of you. Joe and Xander, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we shall see you on the flip side.